506 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Happy Monday to you. It is Monday, May 11th, and we do have a lot going on. Joan, a lot of great interviews today.
Oh, really?
I'm very excited. Listen to the cynicism in her voice.
Oh, no cynicism at all. Dan.
We have some great interviews today, Joan.
That's amazing, Dan. Tell us who.
706, Tennessee State Senator Brent Taylor is going to be joining us.
Oh, so he's the guy that wants to become the next senator?
Congressman for the 9th.
Yeah.
So going to be talking to him. 7:35, Dr. Manny Sethi is going to be joining us. All the latest on the hantavirus. Or is it hantavirus?
Or hantavirus.
Or hantavirus.
Right. That's the way it used to be said. Now we're saying hanta.
Yeah, I don't know why they changed the names of these things, but whatever. So when I was in L.A., it used to be hantavirus.
Right.
And then somewhere, you were telling me, Joan, earlier, like years ago, it used to be called
Hanta.
Hanta.
In the Northeast, we called it hantavirus.
And now it's Hanta.
Hanta.
Hanta, whatever. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I hope to never have to say it again after today.
Right.
Because I've been saying it wrong for like 3 days. So, but you know what? Whatever. Hanta.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, they're now in Nebraska. The people with the hantavirus are now in Nebraska at this highfalutin, place where they do infectious diseases, the whole thing. So Dr. Manny Sethi is going to talk to us about that. I know you'll be shocked, Joan, to learn that they're working now on a vaccine.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. We're all going to get vaccinated for something we will likely never come into contact with.
Exactly, right? So we'll talk about that. And by the way, 806, Brian Wilson is going to join us. Brian has had a very busy weekend. You know what Brian Wilson was doing this weekend besides training his new dog? He has been poring over all of the files that were released last, was it Friday? All the UFO files were released.
Oh, he's into this too, huh?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
I was on the phone with him for like a half hour. I'm like looking at Amy, and don't anybody tell Brian that I'm admitting this on the radio. I'm looking at Amy and I'm like muting my phone and I'm saying, hey, can you like yell in the background that the dog's vomiting or something so I can get off the phone with Brian? Because he won't stop talking about the UFOs and the UAPs. So then I take it off mute. Honey, the dog's puking. Oh, Brian, I got to go. Sorry. Click. I'm just kidding. I love Brian.
So now you're going to bring him on the air so that we can all feel that way.
Yeah.
That's
Great.
coming from the guy that texted us over the weekend about one of the videos. Come on, man.
Who did?
You.
I did? Did I text you about a video? Okay. Listen, I do a lot of texting.
Oh, no.
I do a lot of texting. So if I did,
It wasn't
then...
him, was it?
No,
Sam?
it was. It was.
Okay.
Oh, was it the thing about the demons?
The biblical angel theory
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
from those pilots in the 60s.
Do you know what was so funny? And then I'm going to move on. What was so funny is the Daily Mail actually had a story. And the headline was something like, oh, the chilling details of the release of the alien files or whatever it was. And they talk about a 4 to 4.5 foot helmeted being that they say came out of one of these spaceships. I started laughing because it's like Kazoo from the Flintstones.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Just stop it. Like, get back to us when you have something real to report. You know what I mean? Now, I'm sure that maybe there is something real. That's why I'm leaning on Brian because, and I've done a lot of reading on this, but I mean, Brian, at least to me, he's the only guy that I know that is like really, really, really into it. So Brian is going to tell us, sort of what's new, what's not new. And if Kazoo from the Flintstones was one of those one of the early Martians from it's like 1972, which is when Kazoo was on the Flintstones. Kazoo was the Flintstones, right, Joan?
Yes.
Okay.
Joan sounds a lot like Sam.
Well, I mean...
I wanted to make, you don't have to discriminate against age on that question. I know the answer.
Okay, well, very good.
Also, Wally, if Wally's Bean Machine would be another person to talk to about this stuff.
Sure. Oh, is he
His coffee's not the only thing out of this world.
Well, okay, very good. Anyway, we'll talk to Brian and see if see if there's anything new because everything that I read, I don't know, Joan. See, Joan's not into this. See, this
I make fun of
this
it.
is the difficulty that I have
Yeah.
in dealing with someone like Joan. I'm trying to feign excitement about the whole UFO UAP thing, and she's not playing along.
I just can't get around it except to say that there's going to be a lot of people out there with like aluminum foil on their colanders and wearing it on their heads so that they can attract the sounds
Joan,
of the
you
universe.
don't even have that right. It's to block them out, okay?
I'm
It's
sorry.
a repellent.
Is it okay? Whatever. Anyway.
That's how they can't control your mind, man.
All right, can I just tell you what happened to me this morning?
Yeah.
So no, you can keep that up. Keep that up. So you folks may remember on Friday, I took some calls. And all these people started calling up. I said, you can talk about Justin Pearson or the UFO UAPs. I think I must have taken about 9 calls on UAPs and 1 call on Justin Pearson.
Actually, that call was a both.
Oh, was it a both?
It was a both. He's like, can you explain Pearson's antics and then also these UFOs?
So all these people start calling about like demons and the book of Enoch and Ezekiel and just all this like kind of whatever, kind of scary kind of stuff. I woke up this morning screaming from a nightmare. I kid you not. So I woke up and I know that it's all the talk of the demons. That's what Brian Wilson was talking about, demons too. It scared me, which is why I wanted to get off the phone with him. So I'm sleeping on my back and I feel in a dream or a nightmare a long-fingered black hand on my right shoulder. And I woke up screaming. It was like the demon of death had visited me at night. Now, luckily, it was time for me to wake up anyway. But, I mean, it was like, oh, my God. I wake. Now, Amy and I sleep in literally separate floors. So nobody heard me screaming. But, yeah. And it's
So-
all the talk of this demon stuff.
I think the takeaway from this conversation is that demons with long black fingered hands
Yes.
can tell time.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
They knew that, it's time for this guy to wake up anyway. And
Yeah.
clearly death is near because he's, going to be 59 this year. So, we're going to go ahead and just wake him up now. Honest to goodness, I thought I was like dying. I thought I was going to have like a heart attack or something. So,
I'm not trying to stoke that fire, but Job 7:14, then thou scarest me with dreams and terrifiest me through visions.
shut up, Sam. Why do you do this? Sam, when are you going to take my advice and get out of radio?
Eventually.
Do you know the amount of crap I got on Friday when we were giving Sam like life advice and career advice?
Yeah.
After graduating from college, and my great piece of advice was to get out of radio. I got a lot of crap for that. I'm sorry, Sam. If you want to pursue a life of poverty, you could right on ahead. Stay in radio. See, I'm doing it again, Joan.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me?
A life of poverty. You don't live in poverty, do you, Dan?
It's only been fairly recently that I actually was able to pay my bills, and I had to marry a hot, rich chick to do it. What? I'm just saying. What?
Yeah.
All right, just moving right along. Hey, Iran is going on today. We can talk about that. Yeah.
Beautiful transition.
Wouldn't that that's why I've had a life of radio poverty, because I suck at transitions.
That is 40 years of excellence, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. So I have. Do you know how long I've been? Joan, how many years in radio for you?
This is 38.
Okay, so Sam, do the math. If I got into radio at 18, and now I am 58.
40.
40 years.
Yeah.
40 flipping years I've been doing this.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. I had a full head of hair when I started radio, and now look at me.
Don't
if
even
it was
age whiskey that long.
If it was so bad back in the day, how did you stay? Like, why didn't you, I don't know, get into electrical engineering?
Do you know what's so funny about that, Joan? I actually thought about trade school. I tried trade school, paralegal, going into the military, and still the temptress that was radio stayed in my life. And it's because I love it. Like I was the guy that would work, and people don't care about this, but I would work like 4 or 5 different radio jobs at one time, trying to eke out a living. And I was able, believe it or not, to do it, obviously, because here I am. I've been unemployed all of like 3 weeks in my 40 years. But it was just all sheer luck and perseverance. Because, I mean, based on clearly on this segment, I have no discernible skill in radio, in broadcasting. I mean, obviously.
You done talk long.
What?
She's clearly lived in Coffee County for too long.
I was going to say, what did you say, Joan?
You done talk long.
I done talk long?
You
Is
done
that
talk
it? I done
long.
talk long?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Okay, cool.
It's a talent.
Yeah, that is true. I can speak a long time. Yep. Hey, time to check the roads, and then we're going to get to actual content on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, there really isn't anything going on the roads this morning. Things are fine. I'm looking here at 65 and 24 coming in. It's a little slow. 65 through the Goodlettsville area. Normal volume delay there. 24 is fine. 40 is okay as well. A little wet on the roads. Be extra careful. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, 517 Super Talk 99.7. Now, the rain is going to clear at some point, and that's going to leave us with sunny skies and high around 77. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. By the way, people on the Super Text line, thank you, are asking me, Dan, surprised to even see you here because isn't your daughter about to give birth? Why, yes. Yes, she is. I have an update from her. What is it, Joan? A membrane swap? Is that what it was called?
Sweep. Membrane sweep.
Membrane sweep? Okay, so I've got details from my daughter's membrane sweep. Because I know that this is why people came to Nashville's Morning News. We'll talk about that very quickly because it could happen at any second. Like, I could get a call at 6:15, and I'm going to call Brian Wilson, and he'll start talking about aliens. I'm just kidding.
Don't you threaten us like that.
I'm just kidding. Brian is on standby. I could get a call right now because she was two centimeters dilated. Is that what they call it? Yeah.
Yes.
So she's 2 centimeters dilated. And, but I mean, he is just my second grandson. He's just no hurry whatsoever, which is fine. So anyway, well, we'll see what happens. I do have a go bag in my car.
What is that annoying sound?
It's a sweep. It's a membrane sweep.
I think it probably sounds a little more squishy than that.
Oh.
We got to stop it. Stop it. Iran, Trump, peace plan is not going to happen. This is where we're going right now. We got video up there, Sam. All right. So we're all waiting for both sides to sign off on this page one page, 14-point peace plan. Turns out, though, it is totally unacceptable, according to President Donald Trump. So Iran is now doing their usual saber rattling.
Today as well, we warn the enemy that if they once again commit aggression and once again fall into a miscalculation, just as they did in the past, and are now in fact paying the price for those past mistakes and bearing the consequences.
Iran's president also shared a short statement on social media saying, in part, we will never bow our heads before the enemy, and if talk of dialogue or negotiation arises, it does not mean surrender or retreat.
All right, so those are the words of one of Iran's military generals, courtesy of Fox News and their president. Yeah, you know what, Joan? It's a little hard for me to get into this segment, to be perfectly honest, because you and I have been predicting this for like days now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's like, here we go again. It's going to be whiplash. It's going to be, oh, we're close, we're close, we're close. And then, of course, Donald Trump, totally unacceptable. It's the usual stuff. And, you know, again, it's what we've been telling you all along. Iran is simply trying to delay. That's what this is.
But I think that this time, finally, the delay is working against them.
Yeah, because, I mean, you and I were talking in our pre-show meeting that Iran's, and we've been talking about this, but Iran's, their oil infrastructure is crumbling as we speak. One of the things that is happening, and I'll share some details with you, but one of the things that's happening is that there's now a big old oil slick in the Strait of Hormuz. Why is that? Because Iran cannot offload all of this oil. And so they're either dumping it or one of their tankers is sprung a leak, because what happens basically is this oil, I don't know, it gets old and it gets gross and it gets grody and it starts eating away at the infrastructure. And that is exactly what's happening. So they've got all this oil. They can't unload it thanks to Donald Trump. They're losing millions and billions of dollars. And you've got all these people out there now that are saying, oh, yeah, Iran, they've only got a few days before their economy totally and completely collapses. So we do need to keep the pressure on. We've got a lot more on this. It is 5:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and Joan has the news coming up at 5:30. Joan.
Yeah, busted doing stunts on I-24. You will not believe the ages of the people arrested. It's coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
526, Super Talk 99.7 WTN 615-737-9986. I think people are joking, Joan, finding the comedy in you saying, "Oh, Dan, why didn't you get into electrical engineering?" It's like, yeah, Amanda's doing electrical engineering. No. No. So you know where this big oil slick is, by the way? Near Karg Island.
Oh.
Yeah,
interesting.
So we're talking about the situation with Iran, where, I mean, their economy is in tatters, and, you know, they're still talking. I just played some audio in the previous segment. You know, they're really talking big about how, you know, President Trump is talking about, okay, well, you know what? The one-page, 14-point memo that they came back with is not nearly good enough for the president. He came out hours ago basically saying that it's unacceptable. And so now they have a situation in Iran where they are in big trouble. We're talking about the big oil slick. This is from Fox News. The incident is emerging as a potential sign that Donald Trump's maritime pressure campaign is achieving one of its central objectives of overwhelming Iran's export system to the point where Tehran can no longer move or store crude fast enough to sustain normal production. So they might just, either their systems are breaking down and it's leaking into the water, or they're literally dumping oil into the water. So they might have, you know, too much oil in their system, and now it's degrading their system, impacting their infrastructure. Energy analysts say Iran is now facing a dangerous dilemma. If they cannot export oil or find additional storage capacity, Iran may be forced to either shut down wells, risking long-term damage to oil fields, or dispose of excess crude in ways that could trigger environmental fallout across the Gulf.
And we know that Iran doesn't care about the rest of the world.
Right.
You know, so that's not out of the question.
Yep.
It sounds like something that they would do.
Yep, you're exactly right. Here's a little bit more audio and video from Iran.
By the way, Iran is also warning any vessels from countries that comply with U.S. sanctions will face difficulties crossing the Strait of Hormuz. But meantime, U.S. continuing its stronghold, its blockade over the strait. And as you mentioned, the U.S. Central Command has so far redirected more than 60 ships and disabled 4 others. So we'll wait and see. But the initial response to what we've heard from Iran, not exactly positive from the Trump administration. Tommy, back to you.
All right, so there you go. Big old, we got like dozens of warships that are basically holding Iran captive, hostage, or at least, you know, so that they can't use their ports. I love that. That is what we really do need to do. By the way, real quickly, you heard them talking about sanctions. The U.S. is now implementing, this is again new over the weekend, the U.S. is now implementing new sanctions on those entities that work with Iran on their missile programs. Those include entities based in the Middle East and China. 3 Chinese companies are involved in this. The sanctions are part of a broader batch that included 11 entities and 3 individuals also based in Iran. You got China, Belarus, and the United Arab Emirates that the department claims are enabling Iran's military to procure weapons and raw materials for its ballistic missiles and unmanned aerial vehicle programs. So we'll get into what exactly it is that Iran is looking for that Donald Trump said, oh, hell no. That is coming up next here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We do have a lot more going on today. There was fun. Oh, have you guys seen the video of Justin Pearson at that college graduation?
He looked like...
That was a college graduation?
That was a college graduation.
I thought it was a church service.
That is a college. If you look closely, you'll see a bunch of people in the caps and the gowns. So
somebody put a firecracker in his pants.
You know what? I think Todd Starnes said it perfectly when he said, prayers and concerns for Justin Pearson, who apparently has been attacked by a bunch of killer bees. I mean, that's what it looks like.
Also in his pants. Yeah.
Yes. And so we're going to, I'm going to show you the video and we'll explain to you what's happening. But I think part of what's going on now is that Justin Pearson, the rest of the world, the rest of the country is becoming hip to what we've all known all along about Justin Pearson. The dude's got no depth. He is clearly a racist, and he is really easy to mock. And that mockery does continue. Next on WTN.
It's now 5:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we'll wrap up this rain later this morning. We'll get some sunshine today. High temps around 77. President Trump says Iran's response to the U.S. Proposal is totally unacceptable. Here's NBC's Alice Barr.
President Trump preparing for this week's high-stakes trip to China to meet with leader Xi Jinping as the war with Iran and its global economic fallout hang over the talks. The president rejected Iran's latest peace proposal, calling it totally unacceptable. Iranian state media reporting it focused on ending the war and on security and shipping traffic in the Gulf and Strait of Hormuz, without mentioning nuclear weapons, something President Trump has called a must, reasserting the U.S. will get a hold of Iran's enriched uranium at some point.
We have that very well surveilled. If anybody got near the place, we will know about it and we'll blow them up.
Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying that the war is ongoing and pointed to Iran's nuclear material as the central unresolved threat. Here in Nashville, a 16-year-old is facing charges after getting caught doing donuts and dangerous stunts on Interstate 24.
Metro Police say a group of cars were seen doing donuts and burnouts down the interstate early Sunday morning. A Metro helicopter followed a white Infiniti doing more than 115 miles per hour. The driver eventually stopped at a home on Packard Drive. 3 people got out and ran. The 16-year-old is facing charges in juvenile court.
Yeah, and Channel 4's Danielle Ledbetter tells us 2 girls ages 13 and 15 years old who were also in the car have also been arrested. That is the latest news. Stick around for traffic. Next, I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Some trouble on 65 South in Brentwood, just past Old Hickory Boulevard. You've got a crash and the two left lanes are blocked off by it. East Bank 24 East at James Robertson Parkway. Watch there for a crash as well. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
537 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Hope you are doing well, and welcome on in. It is Monday, May 11th. Got a lot going on today. We will get into the whole Justin Pearson thing because there's so much delicious video and audio, and I do believe that the rest of the country is now getting caught up to where we have been for years now regarding the absurdity of Justin Pearson. So we will get into that, though I do need to wrap up the conversation regarding Iran and what is going on there, because, this is a war. I don't know. Where are we at now, Joan? 6, 7, 8 weeks? I don't even know. 8 weeks? Can somebody do the math for me? Sam, can you do the math?
Sure, yeah.
So, and this was, over the weekend, we've been reporting it. Donald Trump saying, you know what? We got response from the one-page 14-point memo, and it is, as Joan said, and as I said, it is unacceptable. This is from Fox News. Talking about some of the things that Iran was looking for. Listen to this.
Here are some of the highlights. Iran is proposing an end to the fighting and a gradual reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. must lift its blockade of Iranian ports, say the Iranians. Nuclear issues to be negotiated over the next 30 days, another stipulation. Also, Iran proposing to have some of its highly enriched uranium diluted, the rest transferred to a third country, and also Iran willing to suspend enrichment of uranium, but for a shorter period than the 20-year moratorium being proposed by the administration. And it'll be interesting to see what reaction we'll get to these points by the administration. But earlier today, Iran's military said that if the U.S. was thinking about restarting the war, they better think again.
Unacceptable! That's what Donald Trump said, Joan. Unacceptable.
I would posit that was not him.
No.
No.
No, that was not him. I think that we just stay the course. That's all we got. We got to stay the course. There's no other. We can't let them off the hook. You know what I mean? We cannot let them off the hook. I don't know why we would. Should we start bombing Tehran again? Or should we take the battle, start dropping missiles and all that stuff again? I don't think that we need to. I think that where we are right now with not allowing them to unload oil, sell oil, export oil, I think that's all we really need to do. There's no reason to continue to drop bombs. What I would like to do is figure out a way to take out more of their Islamic Revolutionary Guard. That's what we need to do with Iran. But bottom line is they're talking tough, but, we've got them in a vice grip, if you know what I mean. The president was on 60 Minutes last night, and this was part of what he had to say regarding Iran.
Where are we in the war if we've not yet gotten the nuclear materials, the enriched uranium from them?
Well, we'll get that at some point, whatever we want. We have it surveilled. I did a thing called Space Force. And they are watching that if somebody walked in, they can tell you his name, his address, the number of his badge. No, we have that very well surveilled. If anybody got near the place, we will know about it, and we'll blow them up. We'll blow them up.
There you go. We'll blow them up. I mean, listen, it's all well and good. That's what the president wants to do. The president posting that Iran had it really good under Obama and Biden. This was a Truth Social post. Iran had it really good under Obama and Biden as they gave them billions of dollars, let them sell oil, looked the other way on sanctions. I'm paraphrasing, but the president is absolutely right. He was on 60 Minutes last night. One of those sticking points, again, obviously, is that enriched uranium, and now the Iranians are threatening to blow up our ships. So that is the latest on Iran. I'm not real surprised. Joan's not real surprised. Sam's not real surprised. You folks listening at home or in the car, you're not surprised as well. 73 days, Joan, is how far we are. 73 days involved in this war. How many times have we heard we were only a couple of days away from this thing being over. It's probably at least 3 or 4, right? I mean, to the point where I don't even take it seriously anymore.
I don't think anybody does.
It's like when you're shopping with your wife at the home goods store, and she's like, I just need 5 more minutes. I'm looking at these plates. No, it turns into 10 minutes. Then it turns into 2 hours.
And a lot of money.
Yeah.
Something you want to talk about, Sam?
What? It was my graduation money. I used it how I saw fit, I guess.
Hey, Sam, without going into detail, I'd just like to tell you, maybe remind me to talk to you off the air about talking about your marriages or your marriage on the radio.
Oh, that thing called boundaries?
Yeah, a thing called boundaries, and just ignoring those boundaries can lead to really expensive divorce lawyers.
That's true. But it's a similar concept. We keep hearing, oh, we're a couple of days away. Nope.
All right, I want to play this video of Justin Pearson. So for you folks listening on the radio, there is a video that went viral over the weekend, and it was Justin Pearson. And if you look closely, and if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you will see that he is in front of some sort of a graduating class. Apparently this was in Memphis. And he is doing, I don't know, some sort of a commencement address. But it's like... To describe what's happening, he looks like he has a bunch of killer bees in his pants. It's almost like what he's doing, Joan and Sam. It's like he's doing a James Brown. Remember when James Brown would be on stage? He
Blacked out on cocaine?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, he looks like he is, doing a James Brown dance. And he's screaming. He's acting the fool. I mean, be honest. He's acting the fool.
All with a giant picture of himself.
There's a big picture of him in the back. Now, whatever. I mean, he's there as a commencement speaker. But people are asking some very serious questions. This guy named the Reverend Damian Thaddeus Jones, blasting him on the socials, tweeting this out. This is what this Reverend, I guess he's out of Florida, says. Memphis lawmaker Justin Pearson embodies most of the black male leadership now. Performative, caricature, emotional. But the crowd is clapping. Why? Don't black people deserve better than this? Says this black reverend out of Florida, Damian Thaddeus Jones.
Currently serving as the mayor of Calumet City.
This reverend apparently, again, is out of Florida.
Oh, different.
One guy says, stay out of our business here in Memphis. You're in Florida. My response to that guy was this. Most of us here in Tennessee are tired of watching Memphis crumble. That's why the state had to take over the schools. That's why the feds had to send in, and the state, additional law enforcement as well. And that's why the state has also had to take over the district attorney's office. So, yeah, you know what? We would love to stay out of Memphis. We would love to let Memphis fend for itself. Here's the problem. Memphis being able to fend for itself has not actually happened. And so Memphis has been crumbling. You know why Memphis has been crumbling? Because people like this dancing jackass fool, Justin Pearson, is out there making a fool out of himself, and that's what he considers, a way to fix Memphis. Is dancing on a stage like he's got bees in his pants. Oh, and by the way, that's not the only time that he's ever done that. Oh, no. There's been other times as well. Another account called the Black Alpha Network actually put out their own video, and it is also Justin Pearson. Let me play it for you real quick. This is the one on the right, and let me see if I can. I can't do this the way that I want to. But this is Justin Pearson doing his preaching.
God sent you to flip the tables of destitution. God sent you to tip the tables of the attacks on humanity. God sent you. God sent you. God sent you.
He literally says.
Is that him?
Yeah. He literally says God sent you like 50 times.
Sent you. God sent you. God sent you.
I mean, this is just
Man, he loves the sound of his own voice.
I want this job where I could just scream God sent you for minutes at a time.
To flip the tables.
Does he actually have a divinity degree? Like, is he a real pastor?
I don't know, but the people in the audience,
they're eating it up, aren't they?
Some people are just kind of looking around.
Okay.
And other people are eating it up, Joan.
So no weapon.
I mean, there you go. Now, and he's doing the little dance again because he likes to do the dance.
To prosper, no weapon formed against you.
Is this what they do in these churches?
Well, he's got the phrases down.
Fight on. Believe.
It's just silly.
Yeah.
Justin Pearson.
Unlike Reverend Thaddeus Jones, because apparently there's several gentlemen with that name, but Reverend Jones down there in Port St. Lucie has a church, Faith Without Walls, and they focus heavily on community outreach with counseling programs and community partnerships. They're very involved in their community. He's been doing this for over 20 years. He's got a doctorate in theology.
There you go.
Very educated man that actually does things for his community. I'll emphasize that again. Mr. Pearson, what have you done? Who have you counseled? Who have you brought along the way other than just jumping up and down like a fool?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who's on the phone? Justin Pearson is actually on the phone, and he's got something to say to you, Sam. Thank you.
Maybe the best radio setup joke you've ever pulled.
Wasn't that good? Actually, that's Marconi worthy right there. You asked Joan if he's got a divinity degree. So can I ask this question? Because I think Justin Pearson is clearly a fraud, right? He's clearly a fraud. So what kind of a preacher, though, says that? That would be my question. Does your preacher say that? Pastor Alan Jackson. Does Pastor Alan Jackson say that kind of stuff, Joan?
He does not, no.
No?
No. He does not.
Did he call out the Reverend and say that he should worry about Florida instead of Memphis?
Who, Justin Pearson?
Yeah. Is that,
no.
Oh.
No, that's from his shenanigans on Thursday.
Gotcha. Apparently, he's had the audacity to call out the education policies in Florida as a representative.
Really? Because Memphis is really good now that the state has had to take it over? Is that what it is?
Yeah. And as far as his education, he went to Mitchell High School in Memphis and graduated from Bowdoin College in 2017. So
I don't know what Bowdoin College is.
Probably not a real school, for being honest.
Well, I don't know. My question is, what makes him qualified to be a preacher would be my question.
Nothing.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the qualifications are to be a preacher in these kinds of churches. I'm not hating. People praise in different ways, Joan.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
People praise in different ways.
I'm not against it.
So whatever. But, people are screaming about how the vote has been taken out of the people of Memphis, their hands. No longer able to vote. They've lost all their political power. You know how many people live in Dude's district? I thought this was interesting. I did a little research. How many people live in his district? In the last Democrat primary back in 2024, he got 3,700 votes out of a district population of almost 68,000. 3,700 votes out of a population of almost 68,000. That is like 5.6%. All right. So to sit here and say, oh, the people of Memphis are losing, their vote. Well, by and large, the people in Memphis, basically, they're not necessarily voting in great numbers anyway. I mean, Tennessee itself doesn't vote in huge numbers. And so Memphis is considered low in a state that is considered low as it relates to voter turnout. So this massive groundswell of anger, I guess I'm confused because the numbers for the Democrats' primary in 2024 don't actually match the level of angst that I'm seeing right now. It just doesn't. There is a woman called April Chapman. Do I have time to do this now? Are we stacked in this hour? Sam, do we got a lot or do I have time to do this? I want to do this real quick. There's a woman named April Chapman. Now, she is a podcaster, and she is black, and she seems to me like she is really smart, and she's probably going to get a lot of hate for what I'm about to play. This is April Chapman, and she's talking about what happened in Memphis and what people are saying. Listen.
I just got one question for y'all. All of this redistricting stuff that's been happening, the question that we honestly just need to ask is, are black people still voting? I'm I'm arguing yes. Like the right to vote has not been stripped from you. So if black people are still voting, what are we talking about? Like, what are we actually talking about? Because Democrats up in Tennessee are acting like these Tennessee Republicans have snatched ballots out of black folks' hands, padlocked the polling places, and put Jim Crow at the front door with a clipboard.
It was crazy. That's literally what they're saying.
And told these Memphis voters, I'm sorry, y'all, democracy is closed today. Y'all, that is not what happened. Don't let these people emotionally manipulate you like this. Let's not do this. Let me break it down and explain to you what happened down in Tennessee.
So she's speaking the truth. And I still think that if we're looking at Memphis and we're grading the politicians down there, from the school board to the district attorney to the mayor of Shelby County, they all get an F.
Tennessee redrew. They redrew their congressional map. And yes, the Democrats lost their guaranteed political playpen down in Memphis. You see, they've had such a political stronghold for so long, and they've been emotionally using the fight and the struggle of civil rights and the Edmund Pettus Bridge and all the bloodshed that happened. They've been using that in order to maintain political power in this one particular district. But y'all, they didn't lose democracy. They just lost control. They didn't lose any voting rights. Everybody can still vote. Your voting rights are still intact. They lost their racial safety net. Oh yeah, they today, because y'all, they didn't lose black representation. They lost their melanated Marxist monopoly, and now they are screaming voter suppression. See, that's one of the buzzwords and the key phrases to perk you up, to make you think that something bad is happening. Black voters have actually more options now than they had before. And let me tell you something. These Democrats, they hate options when they're used to ownership.
April Chapman. And if you want to find her on X, you can. She's also on YouTube. Chapman, really, really smart, really speaking the truth. And as you can imagine, she's getting a lot of hate, but she speaks the truth. 5:54 on Super Talk 99.7, and Joan's got the news coming up at 6. Joan.
I'll tell you why you want to scratch a beach vacation in Southern California off your summer list. That's coming up here at 6 on Super Talk.
So what you're saying, Joan, is illegal aliens aren't the only thing coming across that border.
Yeah.
I know this story.
Okay.
You folks, you've got to hear this story coming up from Joan. It is sadly not so surprising.
Yeah. Oh, definitely not. It's coming up at 6 here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
558 Super Talk 99.7 WTN 8064. I love this, Joan. So 8064 says, I don't want any association with Memphis to the point of I'm ready to give up and just stop voting altogether. Do not do that. You've got to go vote. As a matter of fact, Dana says this. You ready? Talking about Justin Pearson and his little dance moves that we were playing earlier.
Yeah.
Justin Pearson has watched the Blues Brothers too many times. Dana, I don't know if Dana's a man or a woman, but I mean, Dana's spot on because that was the kind of moves that he was making on that stage at that college graduation.
Somebody online posted the video of him doing this dance, and they said, my 4-year-old, when I tell him I can't eat Skittles for breakfast.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, when you're at a concert and there's no urinals left and you're doing the pee-pee dance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this is the point. The dude is a fool. The dude is a court jester. And somebody said online, I wonder if this is why, people don't vote. Maybe that's why people in Memphis aren't voting. Because this is the kind of candidate that they have been dealing with for the last many years. It is 6 o'clock on WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. In a plane carrying the 17 Americans from the hantavirus-stricken cruise ship arriving in Nebraska overnight. U.S. health officials are now saying one of the Americans has tested positive. Another is having symptoms.
The cruise, which cost around $15,000 per person, traveled to some of the most remote islands in the world, including Tristan da Cunha, an island of about 200 people. British paratroopers parachuting onto that island with medics and supplies after a suspected case of hantavirus was confirmed there.
That's ABC's Lionel Moise. A Robertson County jury has convicted Lucas Manfield of killing 2 kids in a rollover crash near Springfield last January. Here's Channel 4's Hunter Hoagland.
Investigators say 7-year-old Maya and 4-year-old Jackson were killed in January of last year when Mansfield crashed along Highway 161 just outside of Springfield. The Tennessee Highway Patrol says Mansfield drove off the road, hit a culvert, and then went airborne before slamming right into a utility pole. Troopers say those 2 kids were not wearing seatbelts, but Mansfield was.
Mansfield could spend decades behind bars when he's sentenced in September. And you may want to avoid vacationing on Southern California beaches this summer. Many of those beaches are facing repeated closures this summer because the Tijuana River continues to carry untreated wastewater from Mexico into U.S. waters. It travels along ocean currents. Experts say as much as 30 million gallons of sewage-contaminated water can flow into the Pacific Ocean every day from Tijuana. And it's ending up on its shores there in Southern California. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
Oil and stock prices went in opposite directions overnight after President Trump called Iran's response to end the war totally unacceptable. That sent stock futures lower and Brent crude up to around $105 a barrel. On Friday, the 3 major stock indexes finished with weekly gains. The Dow Jones added a fraction to close at 49,609, while the S&P and NASDAQ composite both went into the weekend at all-time highs. Rising fuel prices are beginning to climb into your grocery basket. At New York's Hunts Point Produce Market, for example, the cost of shipping in celery from California is up 46%, and vendors at that distribution center expect to pass the increase on to consumers.
And stock futures this morning pointing down. We've got Dow futures minus 18 right now. NASDAQ futures minus 24. S&P futures, they're down 5. That's the latest news. Traffic is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. There's a crash on 65 South in the Brentwood area this morning. It's past Old Hickory Boulevard South, and 2 left lanes remain blocked off by it. 24 East in Antioch, a crash just past Hickory Hollow Parkway. Also this morning on Shelby Avenue in East Nashville, you've got a crash right there at I-24. On Bell Road in Percy Priest Dam area, at J. Percy Priest Dam, there is a crash. And then also this morning at Harding Pike, at White Bridge Pike, that's in Bellmead, there is also another reported crash. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.606 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends, and welcome on into a Monday, May 11th. You know, I think that there's a reason, even though we're not in Los Angeles, I think there is a reason why people are paying attention to the LA's mayor race, whether we're talking about here in Nashville or across the country. I think it's because people are watching this. We were captivated by the fires. We covered the fires. We covered the inexcusable incompetence of L.A. Mayor Karen Bass and everything that's been going on in California, whether it's in the city of Los Angeles or the state of California. The incompetence is running rampant. And so I think part of why people are watching this mayor's race in Los Angeles is because it's very Trumpian. Have you noticed that, Joan? Where it's like Spencer Pratt.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of Trump in him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He comes from, you know, the world of reality shows. And by the way, my wife actually told me over the weekend, you know, she showed me a few clips of Spencer Pratt, the a-hole, that was on this show. Is it The Hills or The Hill? I don't know. It's one of the two, but I know that the word hill is in there.
Okay.
But I guess he played the bad guy. But these reality shows, everyone needs a villain. He played the villain, which is fine. But here's the deal, is that the reason why people are watching this, and they're watching this with great interest, is because if you are a conservative, you have watched the disintegration of Los Angeles. You've watched the disintegration of the state of California, and it's all because of Democrat rule. So if you are somebody who is like me, it doesn't even matter that I'm from California. It doesn't even matter that I'm from Southern California, where obviously Los Angeles is. It's just, if you're somebody interested in politics, then look no further than California or New York as a consequence of Democrat rule. And so you're watching Spencer Pratt, and you're watching him during these debates. You're watching him on TV in these interviews, and you're realizing that this guy who has no political experience whatsoever, he is pissed off enough, he may actually pull this off. And people, by the way, in Los Angeles, you talk to people in Los Angeles. I read this whole thing in Shocker, the Daily Mail. But apparently there's a lot of people within the Hollywood community that are to the point where they're willing to vote for Spencer Pratt. Now, they're not willing to talk about it, but they're willing to vote for Spencer Pratt. Now, did you hear what happened over the weekend? Joan, I know that you probably saw this. The whole thing with CBS, where he does I don't know how long, it was like a 1-hour interview with CBS.
CBS at it again.
That's exactly right. CBS at it again, where they just decided that they would take that interview and they would condense it to the point where it was only 5 minutes. And you know what they did? They actually, to discredit a political candidate, they included clips in a 5-minute interview, right? In a 5-minute segment. They decided to include clips of him during his appearance on The Hills.
Oh my gosh.
To
You are
discredit
kidding
him.
me.
No, I actually, you know what? I looked for it. I couldn't find the original 5-minute segment. I think CBS pulled it down. But clearly what they were trying to do was they were trying to discredit Spencer Pratt. So, you know what he did? He got on the socials and he totally called out CBS.
After
Listen to
CBS
what he said. I need some audio and I need some, if I could, some video, please. Here we go. Spencer Pratt.
After CBS embarrassed Karen Bass by fact-checking her debate lies about the Palisades fire, they clearly got the call. CBS filmed with me on my burnt-out lot for over an hour talking about crime, housing, affordability, things that voters care about. And they turned it over to Karen Bass's PR team to edit it into a comical 5-minute hit piece with clips from The Hills. They can't beat my ideas. They can't beat me in the debates, so they got to try to turn my campaign into a sideshow. People are done with these skeezy political tricks, and I'm done with CBS. They should release the full, unedited interview the voters deserve to hear from their next mayor.
What is it CBS doesn't get? Like, isn't that amazing? Because
They haven't gotten it yet.
well, I mean, they were the ones that selectively edited Donald Trump's interviews
and Kamala
Harris's interviews. And so, if I remember right, Trump takes that. That's what led to Barry Weiss taking over CBS News.
$30 million suit.
Yeah, Trump sued CBS, the whole thing. So CBS has now been forced. I love this. CBS has been forced to release the entire interview. How epic is that? I love it. So apparently, and we played audio from the mayoral debate from last week, right? We played video from it. And so Karen Bass looked terrible in that debate. Everybody saw it. We played it. Chris played it. We all played video and audio from that debate. And it was great because he looked outstanding. Do you know that 90% of the people that watched that debate in Los Angeles actually declared Spencer Pratt the winner in that debate? 90%. It's crazy. So now they've got a big forum that is supposed to be happening on Fox Channel 11 in Los Angeles that was supposed to be taped on Wednesday, day after tomorrow. You know who won't be there? Karen Bass. She pulled out.
She pulled out?
She pulled out.
Whoa.
She realizes how bad she looks.
Yeah.
And how good he looks. And now she pulled out. Pratt was praised for his performance at the debate. 90% of the people declared him the winner. And so now he's going to go up against, I guess it's just now, City Council member Nathia Rahman is who he's going to be going up against in this debate. And I think most people are saying that Karen Bass is actually done. Like, that's what they're saying now. She is actually done, which is why she has dropped out. By the way, do you want to hear what it is that the good folks over at CBS did not want the people of Los Angeles to hear? What he had to say about the state of Los Angeles and the effectiveness or lack thereof of Karen Bass as mayor of Los Angeles. What is it that they didn't want the people of Los Angeles to hear? I've just got a few audio bites only. This is audio bites only from Spencer Pratt. This is the audio that CBS did not want Los Angelinos to hear. Here's part of what he had to say.
What I'm talking about is what thousands of moms message me every day, come up to me. They don't feel safe. And I'm saying, as mayor, I'm going to enforce the laws that exist to make moms and kids feel safe in front of their schools, on their sidewalks, in front of parks, in front of daycare. So that message resonates. I don't think it could have gone better because my opponents will not tell these mothers anything they want to hear about keeping them safe. They'll
Right. I mean, listen, if you can't keep the people safe, that is, your one job. And I think that's one of the this is why Donald Trump won. I mean, I don't mean to belabor the point, but you look at Spencer Pratt and you look at his campaign. You look at the campaign of Donald Trump. So Spencer Pratt is Donald Trump. Kamala Harris is Karen Bass, right? And the Democrats. And he's painting himself. He's not looking at his campaign where he's a Democrat or a Republican. He's basically saying, listen, I'm just common sense. I've got a couple of more sound bites, and then the stupidity of the Democrats. I'm going to play you their latest, I'm going to air quote this, Joan, the latest attack ad on Spencer Pratt. You want to talk about an epic backfire. That is coming up on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is so delicious. I can't wait. Time to check the roads on WTN. As far as your weather goes, this rain is going to taper off if it hasn't already. And eventually we're going to have some sunny skies and a high of about 77. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, action-packed show today. Coming up at 7:06, we have Tennessee State Senator Brent Taylor. He is running for the newly redrawn 9th. He's going to join us at 7:06. At 7:35, we've all been hearing and reading about and watching the stories about the hantavirus, and it is now in America. We have some of the people from that cruise ship. They have now been rescued from the cruise ship, and they are now in the state of Nebraska. They are basically, they're in quarantine. They're watching them. And so we'll talk to Dr. Manny Sethi about the hantavirus, and we'll get his thoughts on a number of different things, including, the different kinds of hantavirus, also the symptoms, how long should these people be in quarantine in the National Quarantine Unit. All of that is coming up. And also, we're going to find out if this is passed person to person. On Friday, we talked about how this is a rat, would we call it a rat-borne virus, where people are getting it from rats? Rodent-borne. There you go. So we'll talk to Dr. Manny Sethi about that. And also coming up at 8:06, Brian Wilson is going to be joining us. Brian had a very active weekend this weekend, Joan. He did two things. He spent time training that gorgeous new dog of his, and he also has been poring over all of those newly released alien files.
Yeah.
And so he is champing and chomping at the bit to talk about all this. So we're going to have him on at 8:06 to find out if there's anything really substantive related to the UAP and UFO files that were released on, it was Friday morning, right, when we were on the air.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk to Brian about that. He's been poring over all of the files. We'll talk to Brian at 8:06 here on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, so more from Spencer Pratt. Would you agree that he's very Trumpian? Like what he is saying and what he is doing, he is very Trumpian. He's very angry. And I think that part of the reason why he is connecting with Los Angelenos is because he is reflecting the anger of people in Southern California after all of those fires. And how many different screw-ups did they have with the fires? You had the reservoirs that were empty. You had the fire hydrants that had no water. You had, clearly the
firefighters taking the purses full of water to try and put stuff out at dumpsters.
The firefighters were, they were helpless. They could not do anything really to put out these fires. It was horrible. And now you've got all of the red tape, and I realize that maybe perhaps is a local and a statewide issue when it comes to, getting people's homes rebuilt. But he's angry. And by the way, this CBS News piece, this interview was filmed on the still burned out lot where his home used to be. So yeah, he called out CBS. He did this great long interview with CBS, and they refused to air the entire thing. They put together like what you would call a 5-minute package. And this package basically had a few select sound bites or video bites, but then it also included little videos of him on the reality show, no doubt, reflecting him as the big a-hole, the villain on this reality show that he was on. And he came out and he called out CBS and he said, "How dare you?" But that's what CBS did. And so he got on social media and he basically dared CBS to air the interview in full. CBS had no choice but to air the entire thing, or at least post it online. And it came off, again, sounding really good. This is more from that interview with Spencer Pratt. This is what the folks over at CBS did not want Los Angelinos to hear.
Why should voters believe that you, who don't have any experience in that realm, can actually be the solution?
Yeah, because we're living their experience right now. Their experience has failed us. So what we need is somebody to come in with common sense. They're going to continue, their experience is to tell you that all of these people just need a bed. We need more billions of dollars for these beds. The DEA has said 90% of the people living on the streets in Los Angeles are drug addicts. Drug addicts do not want beds. They want drugs. We need mandatory treatment. I don't mean jail. They don't all need to get jail, but we need to get mandatory medical treatment to get people off of super meth, get them off of fentanyl, and then we can work on getting them beds.
I mean, he brings up such a great point, which is experience. You know, you get all these people who will say, oh, egads, he doesn't have any experience in running a city. He doesn't have any experience in running city politics and so forth. Well, you know, my question would be, okay, well, let's talk about what that experience has gotten the state of California or the city of Los Angeles. It's gotten them overrun with illegal aliens. It's got them incessant fires, red tape to the point where people can't rebuild their homes, and on it goes.
I'm not saying I know all the answers. What I'm saying is I'm going to put a team around me. Mayor Bass, I keep saying this, while my house was burning down and she was in Ghana, her deputy mayor, who was supposed to be calling in the fixed air wing support to drop water on the state park here, he wasn't, because he was on house arrest for calling in a bomb threat to City Hall. If that's the experience voters are looking for, we've seen it. Nobody wants that experience anymore. We want change. So they're voting for me for a change. We're done. I'm the mandate for change.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he talks a good game. And one of the things that the reporter said on CBS, the interviewer basically said, well, you don't have any experience, and why should people trust you, as you heard. And he says, listen, how much does experience really matter when we are looking at the state of Los Angeles right now? I got one more soundbite. This is from CBS and the network being forced to air or post the full interview with Spencer Pratt.
Right. This is an unlikely race with a very unlikely candidate. Do you think that you've managed to change people's minds?
You know, I was surprised. I didn't want to run for mayor, but I saw that Mayor Bass was 100% going to get 4 more years on June 2nd. Nobody else was stepping up. I wish somebody with the experience that everybody wants stepped up, but we didn't get that opportunity. So I had to step up so that my sons one day can come back to, we're standing in their former bedroom, come back here and live in the L.A. that I lived in. Beautiful, safe. And I don't want the L.A. I lived in. I actually want L.A. to be the #1 city in the world, because now that I've been having all these meetings and these powerful people that want L.A. back to what it should be, they're like, this should be better than Dubai. This should be the #1 city on the planet. So I used to say in my messaging, I just want L.A. to be back to the L.A. I grew up in. I want that, but times 100 better.
There you go. I mean, listen, there is no reason why New York or Los Angeles should not be as great as they once were. Unfortunately, years and years, decades, if you will, of Democrat rule at the state and the local level has destroyed both cities. All right, coming up, I'm going to put a final cap on this. There is a political ad that the Democrats came up with that, I mean, they're calling it an attack ad, but really what it does is it really paints the picture of the difference between Spencer Pratt and the Democrats. Wait till you hear this. It is absolutely comical. 624. Joan's got the news coming up at 6:30. Joan.
Yeah, a newly closed nightclub lit up on fire overnight. We've got the story coming up at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 624. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I want to tell you about my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. Now, this is my jewelry store, and every time I've got an important occasion and I need an important gift for somebody, a special gift, if you will, I go to my special place. That is Brentwood Jewelry. Now, they've been at it for over 50 years. Brentwood Jewelry has been proudly serving the Brentwood community with exceptional style and exceptional deals every single day. is a family-owned and operated business spanning 3 generations. They are deeply rooted in this community, from Salem's service in Special Forces to his sons serving as local firefighters. The Amamali family is dedicated to giving back. It is imperative these days that you shop local. Shop, my friends, at Brentwood Jewelry, 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Find them online anytime, BrentwoodJewelry.com. Tell them Dan told you to reach out, BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Good morning. It's now 6:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and fire crews are on the scene of a fire at the former La Dance nightclub in Nashville. The call came in around 4 o'clock this morning. News 2 has footage from the scene that shows heavy smoke coming from the building's roof. Now, that fire is reportedly extinguished now, and there's no cause so far. La Dance nightclub was the scene of a shootout 2 weekends ago after some patrons were kicked out for fighting. The club owners announced the nightclub is closed permanently last week. We're hearing that Davidson County election officials will spend $300,000 to mail out new voter ID cards after last week's change in the congressional districts map for District 9. But Channel 4's Marius Payton says early voters will have an advantage this time around.
Regardless of the changes, it's a great year for early voting because you can go to any of the 15 locations during the 2-week window instead of assigned precincts on Election Day.
Early voting begins in about 2 months for the August primaries here in Tennessee. Questions are being raised about airport security after somebody managed to climb a 12-foot fence topped with razor wire and walk out onto an active runway in Denver. And the result was fatal.
Frontier Flight 4345 was on its takeoff roll at Denver International Airport when the crew radioed the tower.
There was an individual walking across the runway.
The unidentified person was struck by the plane and killed. Perimeter fences meant to prevent this kind of thing are not perfect.
It's really there to be a delaying action to allow the airport personnel to respond if somebody tries to get on the airfield.
Aviation specialist Jeff Price, 12 passengers suffered minor injuries during the evacuation of the plane. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And that is the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis. How can Contours LLC help you? I mean, let me count the ways. Obviously, we've been talking about fat loss and the lines on your face, but what about pain from rheumatoid arthritis? Now listen, if you're one of the thousands of people suffering from RA, help is on the way. Courtesy of Contours, they specialize in red light therapy. And you know that studies have shown that red light therapy can help with that rheumatoid arthritis pain. At Contours LLC, their red light therapy is non-invasive, inexpensive, and it's not painful. You're not going to have any downtime. They are experts in red light technology, and if you suffer from RA, they can help you. Ask your rheumatologist or care provider if red light technology can help you. You can also call Contours LLC, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, or find them online anytime. ContoursLLC.com. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. ContoursLLC.com. After all, what have you got to lose but the pain? .634 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here for my friends at the Covered Patio. Warmer weather means you want to spend more time outside. Now, if you would like to add more living space to your home, think about building or upgrading your patio. Now, at the Covered Patio, they've got motorized screens so that you can easily keep the patio open when you want some sun and closed when you want some shade, so your back screened-in porch becomes a lot more enjoyable. Now, at the Covered Patio, they've got a ton of outdoor living options. They've got motorized screens, patio covers, custom wooden decks, and outdoor structures, to name just a few. They've got a ton of options with styles for every budget. The Covered Patio is dedicated to fair prices and customized solutions for your specific home and space. So enjoy your home a lot more with an incredible patio upgrade from the Covered Patio. Tell them Dan told you to reach out, 615-695-2407, 615-695-2407, online at thecoveredpatio.com, thecoveredpatio.com.
So we have a crash in Antioch this morning. It's on Mount View Road at Baby Ruth Lane. It involves injuries at the airport, Briley Parkway, at Vultee Boulevard. There's a crash. And at Percy Priest Dam, watch for a crash there on Bell Road. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.636 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm hearing, Joan, from all kinds of folks like me who fled California. You know, there's a lot of people, obviously, as we all know, former Californians who are now in the state of Tennessee.
Right.
And they're listening quite intently to, you know, what is going on and paying attention to what is going on with Spencer Pratt and the L.A. mayor's race. I find this whole thing fascinating. By the way, there is a huge story going on right now. I know you're going to be shocked. Gavin Newsom and corruption.
Yeah.
I know, shocking, right? It has to do with diapers. So details coming up here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Also, we have President Trump, just to let you know where we're going. President Trump is talking to Fox News, and Trey Yingst, who is relaying what the president is saying regarding Iran. And that is a topic we've been covering today as well. I want to put a final bow, though, on the Spencer Pratt. This is going to take me about probably a minute. So the Democrats, this shows you how tone deaf, right, the Democrats are. So they come out with a TV ad. I need some video here. They come out with a TV ad that is supposed to be an attack ad on Spencer Pratt. I want you to listen close. You ready? Here we go.
Republican Spencer Pratt is the last thing Los Angeles needs for mayor. Pratt opposes using taxpayer money to build brand new houses for our unhoused neighbors, saying it's time for the homeless to get help or get out. Pratt thinks LA needs thousands more police officers rather than more social workers, and Republican Spencer Pratt thinks public employee unions should have less power, not more. LA is on the right track and needs to stay the course. Vote no on Republican Spencer Pratt.
Now, I'm just gonna play that again and just handle the issues one by one, because I could not think of a better commercial for Spencer Pratt. Because if you think about it, every single one of those issues has been a major problem in Southern California. So listen again.
Republican Spencer Pratt is the last thing Los Angeles needs for mayor. Pratt opposes using taxpayer money to build brand new houses for our unhoused neighbors.
Are you kidding me? Like, that is supposed to be an attack point on Spencer Pratt?
That's crazy.
I mean, Sam, remind me, how much did California spend on the homeless problem? Well, I go through this every time. Like,
I want to say it was like $27 billion.
It was like $27 billion.
And they've grown their population by over 180,000.
Right. And they don't know where the money went. I mean, I know we talk about this all the time, but Gavin Newsom spent all of this money on the homeless population and trying to handle and deal with the homeless population. Not only can they not find the money, but the homeless population grew, and it was like tens of billions of dollars. And as I mentioned to you last week, the uber-liberal California state legislature had 3 separate bills to do an audit on where the heck that money went, and Gavin Newsom vetoed every single one. So when this commercial says Spencer Pratt opposes using taxpayer money to build brand new houses for our unhoused neighbors, are you kidding me? I mean, that sounds like a guy that I would vote for. And realize there's a lot of people in Los Angeles who are living in apartments and they've got roommates and stuff because they can't afford to live in a brand new house. Do you know I was talking to somebody, Joan, a friend of mine? I will not say who it is, but it's somebody who lives in California. It's a radio guy.
Okay.
And we were joking at one time about how it would be a great radio bit to pretend like you're drug-addled and homeless to get a free house. No, would that not be the greatest bit ever?
Well, it would probably work.
Well, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm sick of roommates. And I literally said, why don't you pretend to be homeless and they'll give you a free place to live? And I mean, it's a great bit. Anyway, here's more.
Saying it's time for the homeless to get help or get out. Yep. Pratt thinks LA needs thousands more police officers rather than more social workers.
So Pratt thinks that we need more police officers and less social workers. Crime is rampant in Los Angeles. Crime is rampant all across the state of California. And let me ask you a question. If you got somebody that's pulled a gun on you, Joan, you're gonna want a cop or a social worker?
Yeah, right.
Obviously, you're gonna want a cop.
Well, I'm gonna prefer my handgun first.
Well,
which you can't do that in LA either.
I was gonna say can't do that in LA. Although I'm not familiar with all the laws in LA as far as 2A goes, but I would assume that you're not allowed to carry in Los Angeles. I have no idea, but whatever. But the point is that when LA is overrun by illegal aliens and people that have been doing a lot of really bad stuff, and they're castigating Spencer Pratt because he wants more cops as opposed to more social workers, and that's supposed to be an attack ad? Oh, my goodness gracious. They do talk about the public union employees.
Social workers and Republican Spencer Pratt thinks public employee unions should have less power, not more. LA is on the right track and needs to stay the course. Vote no on Republicans.
So is LA on the right track? I don't think so. LA is absolutely on the wrong track, and California is on the wrong track. I mean, it's almost like every single weekend I see another story about how California is, people are fleeing. To be honest, I'm bored of the story now. I almost feel like we all know, right? We all know that LA and California is a shambles, is a crime-ridden mess, and people are leaving. So I do find the whole thing rather fascinating. All right, there is a couple of things I want to wrap up here.
No, I was going to say when it came to that, I have some more info just because I know you find certain things ridiculous.
Yeah.
When it comes to LA, so the California limit, right? Can't have a magazine with more than 10 rounds in it.
Okay,
that's a whole thing.
Yep.
So, vehicle transport, your ammunition should be stored in a separate container from the firearm, ideally in the trunk. Using a locked container is required for firearms and highly recommended for ammo to ensure it's not readily accessible.
Wow. And the great thing about all of this, and I say great thing as in it's ridiculous, is that nobody's following these rules. If you're a gangbanger, you're not following these rules. If you're the Bloods or the Crips or the whatever, they're not following these rules. But you're expected to follow the rules, right? I mean, that's the problem with Los Angeles. All right, coming up, epic moment. Now, first of all, I've got Brent Taylor, who is coming up, State Senator Brent Taylor. He's going to be joining us at 7:06. He's running for the 9th. And there was a guy on, I don't know what this is, but he's accusing Brent Taylor, right, of being a racist. So the dude that's on this panel with the guy accusing Brent Taylor of being a racist, they ask him for some actual examples. Oh, this did not end well. Details straight ahead, coming up on 6:45. Time to check the roads on WTN. As far as your weather goes, rainy this morning. It's going to clear. Eventually, we'll have sunny skies and a high of 77. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Sam. Hold on. Don't shoot. Let me get my ammunition in the trunk. It's so dumb. Yeah, like you carjacked?
Yeah.
Oh.
Imagine it's two people, right? So they've got a magazine ban, right? You can't have. So you've got two guys, and let's say their guns are compliant. Well, they've got at least 20 rounds on their person. You've got 10.
Where was it? I don't even know if we covered it, but last week there was that story where the guy was, I think you saw it too, Joan. We talked about it off the air. There was a guy, an illegal alien, who tried to carjack, was that Texas? Tried to carjack a man and his like 6 or 7 family members were in this car, his wife and their multitude of kids. And some dude walks up and tries to carjack him. And the dude had a gun. And I think, did he take out the illegal alien that was trying?
He killed him.
He killed him?
He
Good.
gave him every opportunity to walk away from that. I don't know if it was a 38 or a 357, but he had a revolver. And he gave him every single opportunity on this earth to stop what he was doing. And Texas is a very broad castle doctrine state, so no charges.
Good. Oh, so they did not charge the guy with any
they did
crimes?
not.
Nope.
Good.
And for the left
He
out
was
there,
protecting his family. His wife grabbed their infant and jumped out of the car, but there were some others who were still in the car while this guy was trying to take off.
Do you know if I was a talk show host in Texas, you know what I would do?
invite him on.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I would also do like a GoFundMe in case he has to have the car professionally cleaned if any blood and guts got inside the car. Just go ahead and have a detailed form as well. That's how much I don't care that this criminal who is trying to carjack a guy and his family in Texas was shot dead.
So there's not a GoFundMe for the father.
Oh, God.
But there's a GoFundMe
Yep.
for the family of the deceased suspect, 30-year-old Jose Ramirez.
Shocking, said no one at all.
And the left media won't cover that because this was a black man in Texas exercising his Second Amendment right to defend his family and his property.
Love it.
So they're not going to touch it because, you know, it defeats their narrative.
Well, you wouldn't see that in Los Angeles if the guy had the ammunition in the trunk.
1 second, good sir.
All right, real quick. Brent Taylor, of course, he's going to be joining us at 7:06. So this is funny. You know how the Democrats, and we've certainly been dealing with this, the Democrats are just constantly throwing out these accusations of racism, right? I mean, it's no proof, no examples. Well, one of these, a guy named Corey Strong. Now, Corey Strong apparently is some sort of a Memphis political figure. And he put State Senator Brent Taylor on full blast, and it backfired epically.
One of the candidates that's running, Make Memphis Matter, yet consistently expresses vitriol towards certain segments of the community that we're very clear on what that means,
Can you
then
give me an
immediately
example?
wants to run for one of those seats.
What's an example of that?
What's an example of that?
Of vitriol towards black people from Senator Brent Taylor. What's an example of that?
Now, the best part of this,
I can't wait to hear this.
this is on WREG, and the guy who is the Corey Strong, he's now having to. You know how when people are like thinking they've got to look up in their head, they're looking for an answer, looking for an example.
Well, most of it's coded, right? So most of it's coded, most of it's coded language. But the idea that I need to say something that you don't understand what it is and you know what it is, right?
No, like what? Well, I'm just asking for an example.
I don't have an example off the top of my head.
Oh,
get out of here!
Has no example, but you see this BS about how it's coded.
Yeah,
I mean that's somehow is supposed to relinquish them from being able to actually come up with an actual concrete example as far as being, calling somebody a racist. Okay, so what exactly did I say? I mean, I get called a racist all the time. I don't care anymore. But, give me an example. And this guy, Corey Strong, could not come up with any example of Brent Taylor being a racist. And then this BS, oh, well, it's coded, so I don't actually have to come up with an actual example. And then he says to whoever the other guy was who was asking for the example, the guy, Corey Strong, says, well, you know what I'm talking about. You know that it's coded. Well, no, we're just asking for examples. I mean, this is what the Democrats, they're so used to, and people like this guy, Corey Strong, they are so used to just being able to get away with these, vapid, nonsensical, non-substantive accusations of racism. It's like, obviously it's like Justin Pearson. It's the same kind of thing. So I love that, this dude got called out, and the guy the guy who asked for the example, very, dispassionate. No name calling, no smirking. He's just very matter of fact. All right, Corey, we'll come up with an example. Do you have any example? I mean, here's the deal. If Brent Taylor's racism was so incredibly evident to everybody, wouldn't he just have examples like right off the top of his head? Right? He's got nothing. Because this is what the Democrats do. This is the only thing that they, at this point, this is the only thing that they have is screams of racism. Brent Taylor is going to join us at 7:06. It is 6:51 on Nashville's Morning News. Jones got the news coming up at 7. Joan.
Yes, 17 Americans are now in Nebraska. They were aboard the hantavirus cruise ship. And we've got an update on their conditions coming up at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Dan Mandis here, 6:52 on Super Talk 99.7. You know how many ways we can lose power, right? You've got ice, you've got storms, you've got snow, you've got tornadoes. We get all of these things. But, there is one surefire way to get your power back on. That is a backup standby generator from my friends at the Generator Supercenter. Now, the Generator Supercenter is the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. They feature turnkey installation, certified electricians and plumbers, maintenance and service after the install, and a whole lot more. Now, I love the Generator Supercenter. Let me tell you how this works. The power goes out in your neighborhood. The power in your home turns right back on thanks to your backup generator. So if you're one of the many families talking about a backup generator, talk to the pros at the Generator Supercenter. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out as always. Another reason, by the way, to love the Generator Supercenter, their generators are made right here in the U.S. of A. Now, they'll never leave you in the dark. Financing is available. And yes, they are waiting for your call. 615-879-1952. 615-879-1952. Find them online anytime. Generator Supercenter of Nashville.com. Generator Supercenter of Nashville.com. 656 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Lots of reaction to that last segment. One guy says, more race baiting stuff. Maybe I'll tune back in later. You know what? You're lucky that I'm not playing all of the media appearances by Justin Pearson over the weekend. Did you see that, Joan?
God sent you.
Dude was like everywhere. And, CNN, it's just the usual race baiting. You're welcome. I'm not bothering to play that because it's stuff that we've heard over and over ad nauseum. Also, people thought that Spencer Pratt ad that I played was actually a trolling ad by Spencer Pratt. So when you get just inside the mind of Mandis, right, which is a dark place to be, people are like, oh, that's got to be a trolling ad. It's not. But then I looked because it was like, did Spencer Pratt himself actually put that out? No. Vote no on Republican Spencer Pratt. Ad paid for by LA unions opposed to Spencer Pratt for mayor 2026. So that was actually paid for by the Democrats or the Democrat-affiliated unions in Los Angeles. And again, it was really silly because clearly that was an ad. Maybe should I play it again? People might not have any idea what I'm talking about. It's a 30-second ad. I'm going to play it again real quick. I need some video.
Republican Spencer Pratt is the last thing Los Angeles needs for mayor. Pratt opposes using taxpayer money to build brand new houses for our unhoused neighbors, saying it's time for the homeless to get help or get out. Pratt thinks LA needs thousands more police officers rather than more social workers, and Republican Spencer Pratt thinks public employee unions should have less power, not more. LA is on the right track and needs to stay the course. Vote no on Republican Spencer Pratt.
I'd love to know how much they paid for that ad because clearly it seems to me like it helps Spencer Pratt's campaign. Because it speaks to common sense. Real quickly, Sam, we went to the website of the people that put this together.
Yeah, RepublicanPratt.com. It's got a shot of Spencer Pratt, the last thing Los Angeles needs for a mayor. Spencer Pratt's pro-cop, anti-homeless, anti-union agenda will put Los Angeles on the wrong track.
Wow.
Has it been on the right track?
No, clearly not. Joan, people are demanding an answer regarding your new grandchild.
Oh.
So where are you at? And I'll give people an update for me too, real quick.
So my daughter is 3 centimeters dilated. She's having Braxton Hicks, like strong Braxton Hicks, and the baby's down, and he's right there. She was at the doctor on Friday. The baby's right there, so it could be any minute.
Okay.
Who knows?
So,
I mean, we're kind of both in the same boat.
Yeah, my daughter too. It's like we're in a dilation race. So.
Yeah.
My daughter, 2 centimeters dilated, and if I get the phone call, then
you're out of here.
I got a go bag, right? So I have stuff packed, and if I get the call, Brian will jump on, and I'm heading north to Indiana, which is where my daughter is. So I don't know.
And I'll be heading north to Maryland.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to take a bet. Whose latest grandchild is going to be born first, mine or Jones?
Yeah.
I'm thinking you, because you're at 3 and my daughter's on 2.
Yeah, but she had the membrane sweep. That's heavy duty.
Oh.
Every time we mention membrane sweep,
a twitch.
Sam cringes.
Sam gets all cringy. Whatever. 7 o'clock. All right. State Senator Brent Taylor is going to be joining us coming up next. He is running for the 9th. Details on his campaign straight ahead on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. In a plane carrying the 17 Americans from the hantavirus-stricken cruise ship arriving in Nebraska overnight, U.S. health officials are saying that one of the Americans has tested positive and another is having symptoms.
The CDC has previously said there will be no mandatory quarantine for the people not showing hantavirus symptoms. They'll be allowed to either go home or self-monitor for 42 days or stay at the quarantine center. It remains to be seen if that will change now, given at least one positive case has been confirmed among the group. Experts emphasize this outbreak is not like the early days of COVID, and this virus is not new.
That is ABC's Lionel Moise. Now, one of the 5 French passengers evacuated from the ship has now tested positive. That passenger showed symptoms on the plane to France, and their condition got worse overnight. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth calling for an investigation into Arizona Senator Mark Kelly after he said this on Face the Nation on Sunday.
We've been briefed by the Pentagon on specific munitions. Actually, it's been pretty detailed on Tomahawks, ATACMS, SM-3s, THAAD rounds, Patriot rounds, so those interceptor rounds to defend ourselves. And the numbers are, I think it's fair to say it's shocking, how deep we have gone into these magazines.
Hegseth says that is revealing classified information, albeit falsely and dumbly, in Hegseth's words. Tense moments at Clarksville's Robert Clark Park yesterday when a father called police to say that he hadn't seen his 12-year-old son in an hour. Channel 4's Hunter Hoagland picks it up from there.
As panic grew, rescue teams searched the water and shoreline, hoping to find that child safe. Thankfully, we are happy to tell you about 15 minutes later, that 12-year-old boy was found at Billy Dunlop Park after drifting down that river on the raft.
The boy wasn't hurt. He's back home with his family today. And got an update on the Greenbrier police officer who crashed his car while on duty early Friday morning. Matthew Hills is his name. He suffered a seizure after the crash. And now we've learned that he has been diagnosed with a previously unknown brain tumor. The police department says he faces a substantial course of medical treatment over the coming weeks and that they're asking for prayers for him and for his family. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. We've got Dow futures pointing down 86 points right now. The NASDAQ futures down just a fraction. S&P futures are down 7.5. And checking out crude oil right now, a Brent crude is trading at $104.40 a barrel. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Well, tough on 24 this morning, the westbound lanes. They've got a crash in the right and left shoulders. 24 westbound over Haywood Lane. Now, the traffic center is saying that it blocks all 4 through lanes. Again, this is a crash that is on 24 westbound over Haywood Lane. It's on the right and left shoulders, and all 4 lanes of traffic appear to be blocked at this moment. We'll keep on top of that one. 65 south in Berry Hill. That's a crash in the right lane. You've got it's 65 southbound just past I-440. Bell Road at Percy Priest Dam. It is blocked in that area this morning because of a crash. And then one more in Antioch. It's on Mount View Road at Baby Ruth Lane. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
7:06, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends, and welcome on into a Monday, May 11th, and we've got a lot going on this morning. Don't forget, 7:35, Dr. Manny Sethi is going to be joining us, going to talk about the hantavirus 806. Brian Wilson will be here. A lot of guests today. Brian Wilson is going to join us, going to talk about what was released regarding the UFO and UAP files over the weekend. And right now, I want to welcome on into the program State Senator Brent Taylor joining us on the Newsmaker Hotline. And appreciate you joining us here. You had a big announcement. Really, it almost seemed like immediately once the redistricting of the 9th Congressional District was done, you announced that you were running for the 9th for the House of Representatives. So let's talk a little bit about this. First of all, welcome into the program.
Well, thank you, Dan, for having me. I am coming to you live from I-40 this morning, so it's good to talk with you.
Absolutely. All right. So you've already announced, literally, as you made your announcement, you had already secured the support of both Tennessee senators. You have Marsha Blackburn and also Senator Haggerty in your corner. You've held your first campaign event already in Savannah, Tennessee. Now, that is, of course, well east of Memphis. I guess the obvious question, Senator Brent Taylor, is when are you going to get to Memphis? And how do you reach those folks? Because I think a lot of those people are probably pretty angry right about now.
Oh, yeah, look, there are a lot of people that are angry. Matter of fact, you know, I have worked hard to make Memphis matter.
Yep.
And to listen to the folks back in Memphis after everything I've done, and now that we have done the redistricting, they will tell you that I have made Memphis matter, M-A-D-D-E-R instead of M-A-T-T-E-R. But look, this was the right thing to do, and this will give us one more Republican in Congress that will be able to fight an impeachment of President Trump and to really be able to press forward with those conservative ideals that we all want. And this gives us another voice in Washington. So this is a good thing, despite the fact that the Democrats are opposed to it. And look, you saw the chaos that erupted on the Senate floor when we passed this. And there was Charlene Oliver, Senator Oliver even got up on our desk while we were voting. And I don't know if you remember this, but my first year in the Senate, I made a comment that Charlene Oliver was just absolutely offended by when I said that I was working harder than an ugly stripper to try to get some bill passed. And I didn't understand why she was so upset about that. But now that this last session ended with her performing a table dance, maybe I'm beginning to understand why now.
So one of the things that I thought was interesting is that, you know, you're no stranger to Memphis, obviously. You were a member. I just want to go through your Memphis street cred. State Senator Brent Taylor joining us, by the way. So you were a member of the Memphis City Council way back in 1995, Shelby County Board of Commissioners, and the Election Commission along the way. One thing folks know is that you are tough on crime. That's one of the things that I have always liked about you. With what we know right now about the success of Operation Memphis Safe, do you think that history in Memphis, regardless of the fact that you're a Republican, but do you think that'll bring you any trust among the people that, as we're talking about the folks that are really angry in Memphis, do you think that'll at least bring you some trust with your history in that city?
It will. Look, all the folks down there in Memphis that are raising Cain about, how upset they are at me and how upset they are at the legislature for redrawing the lines. Look, they've been talking that same smack about me the whole time I've been in the Senate. But you know what else they do, Dan? When they need something, they call me. And so down in Memphis, they refer to me as Senator Taylor, the guy we cuss but call. And so they're looking forward to, I think, strong leadership. And I have been in the Senate fighting Tennessee's only Soros-backed DA. I've been fighting the woke local governments trying to defund the police and create sanctuary cities. And I even worked with Senator Blackburn to help get the Memphis Safe Task Force there, which included fighting illegal immigration. And, that's why I like Tennessee the way I like my sweet tea, and that's with a lot of ice.
One of the things as we talk about your history in the city of Memphis, you and I think the first time you and I spoke, one of the things that I asked you was, with so many people fleeing Memphis, you decided to stay. Talk about, as now that you're running for the 9th, Brent Taylor, talk about why it is that you stayed in Memphis when so many others have fled that region.
Well, Memphis is worth fighting for. I could have lived anywhere. I'm originally from a rural area in North Mississippi. I grew up in the building supply business. My dad had a retail lumberyard and hardware store. And, I'm a funeral director by profession, mainly because my dad and the local funeral home owner were big hunting and fishing buddies. So whenever he had a funeral, he'd call over the lumberyard and ask him to send me over to the funeral home to help. And so that's how I got into the funeral business. And Dan, a lot of this new 9th district is rural, so a lot of farming interest. And, as a funeral director, I'm a southern planter. I've never had a harvest, but one glorious day, there will be a tremendous harvest of mine from all my years of southern planting. However, the reason I stayed is because Memphis is worth fighting for.
Yeah.
And Memphis has given me everything. My wife is from Memphis. My children were born in Memphis. My business career was in Memphis. My family, my political career rather, was in Memphis. Memphians have always trusted me, and I think that's what they would tell the people of West and Middle Tennessee in this congressional race is Senator Taylor, someone you can trust in Congress to give them hell.
The new 9th does include parts of Shelby County, obviously, but it extends across the southern part of the state to include half of Fayette County, all of Hardeman, Hardin, Wayne, Lawrence, Giles, Lincoln, Moore, Bedford, and Marshall counties, along with half of Murray and half of Williamson and a little sliver of Weatherford County. How would you describe this district, and how do you balance the needs of all those rural communities and the city folks as well?
Well, that's what is interesting about this district. I mentioned two things. One, this is not my first race for Congress. If you recall, back in 2002, I ran for Congress, and more than half of the counties that are in the new 9th were in the old 7th Congressional District in 2002 when I ran against Marsha Blackburn for Congress. And I might also add, Dan, when Marsha was elected to Congress the first time, I was one of her opponents, and I have been going all over the state reminding people that, as someone who was one of her political opponents, that you ain't got an ass whipping until you get you one of them Marsha Blackburn ass whippings. And so many of those counties are in the district, and I already won a lot of those counties when I ran for Congress back in 2002. The other thing I'll mention is, for the people who were doing table dances and chanting, and inciting the gallery while we were voting on this redistricting, these districts are much more reflective of what Tennessee looks like. The 9th district, for example, it's got an urban core in Memphis. It's got suburban communities in Shelby, Fayette, and Hardeman counties. It's got rural areas in the eastern part of the district, which would be Middle Tennessee. And then you've got affluent suburbs of Nashville and Williamson, Murray counties and Marshall. So it's really reflective of what Tennessee looks like. And so I think that's important. We have congressmen that represent districts that look like Tennessee and reflect Tennessee values.
7:15 on Super Talk 99.7. WTN State Senator Brent Taylor is joining us. He's running for the 9th. Give me 15 seconds here. We got to check some traffic, then we'll return on WTN. As far as your weather goes, it's going to be rainy this morning. That'll clear. Eventually, we'll have sunny skies and a high of 77. So on the other side of the aisle, you're going to have Justin Pearson, Steve Cohen. Both of these guys are going to attack you as being part of the movement to take away the voting power of people in Memphis. Obviously, you have to get through a primary first. But, how do you think this campaign is going to go? I mean, based on what we saw last week at the State House. I get a feeling this might be a little bloody.
I think so. But this, again, you read some of the things that I have done in my previous political positions. And so I'm accustomed to a bare knuckle street fight when it comes to dealing with Democrats. But look, Democrats, they usually bring something to the conversation. It's mostly confusion. And we saw that last week when we approved these districts. And look, this will be one of the most watched congressional races in the country.
Oh, yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One, it'll be flipping a Democrat seat to Republican in the city that Donald Trump, President Trump, has made a personal line in the sand when he sent the Memphis Safe Task Force. And he will be able to tell the country that I went into Memphis and saved it with the Memphis Safe Task Force. And we went from having a city that is ranked number one in any kind of chart you look at in terms of crime, and then we turned it red. And so I think I want to do the work necessary to make sure President Trump can say that, and I believe I'm that candidate.
Well, you've been involved, and you just talked about it, but you've been involved in Make Memphis Great Again for, a long time now. And with the surge of law enforcement in Memphis, I believe that it has been such a huge success. Let's talk about some specific issues. You are running for Congress. So right now, obviously, spending is a very big deal. Knowing what you know about the big, beautiful bill, would you have voted for it?
Before I get to that, let me just say one other thing and why Memphis is so important. If you want to improve Tennessee, if you want to improve educational outcomes for Tennessee, you have to do it in Memphis.
Yeah.
If you want to reduce crime in Tennessee, you have to do it in Memphis. And so that's why my effort to make Memphis matter is so important to this congressional race, because, people in Middle Tennessee may not be that concerned about Memphis, but it shows a proven track record that I'm a fighter and that I know how to fix problems. And it's just like President Trump. He's comes from the outside. He was a business owner. He knows how to fix problems. As it relates to the one big beautiful bill, yes, look, the Trump agenda, the America First agenda is critically important. And the things that were in the one big beautiful bill, like no tax on tips and making the tax cuts permanent. And I will tell you, I've been in a lot of elected positions for a very long time, and I have never voted for a tax increase. That's one of the things that drove me to get into public service, was the fact that taxes are too high, and I've never voted for a tax increase. And that's the kind of thing you can expect from a Congressman Taylor.
Let me ask you, and you're right, just flipping back a little bit, the state had to take over the schools in Memphis, Shelby County. The DA is now under a very watchful eye of the state legislature. Of course, we did have the law enforcement surge. And you were, especially with looking at Steve Mulroy, the DA, you were a very big part of that. And not to try to, say all these nice things about you, but clearly you want the DA to do everything that he should do to keep bad guys behind bars, and he wasn't doing that. Steve Mulroy is a guy who was letting bad guys off, and those bad guys would ultimately end up go off and and do more bad things, sometimes even kill people. And so you had that piece of legislation that said, listen, if Steve Mulroy is going to be the district attorney, then we got to make sure that he's actually going to enforce the rule of law and hold the bad guys accountable. How is that going?
Well, it's going much better, and it will go a lot better with that state oversight that we provided for his office. And look, the guy is a Soros-backed DA. He will tell you he's not. He is misleading you. There have been multiple nonprofits and multiple think tanks that have done all the connecting, and they can follow the money trail all the way back to George Soros. And look, I'm sure his mother and Jesus love him, but everybody else thinks he's doing an awful job. And that's why we have to hold him accountable. When I ran for the Senate, I said I was going to hold him accountable, and that's exactly what I did. And so it's important that we keep the pressure on so that he can prosecute people, because look, they've had over 10,000 arrests with the Memphis Safe Task Force, and he will remain the weak link unless we do something about this Soros-funded DA, because they can arrest all the people down there with the Memphis Safe Task Force, but if you don't have somebody that's going to prosecute them, they're going to get right back out on the streets and be doing the same thing when the task force finally leaves town.
Last question for State Senator Brent Taylor, running for the 9th as you hit the campaign trail. Tell me what your major priorities are going to be.
Well, my major priorities will be to take what I have done in West Tennessee, fighting the Soros-backed DA, fighting these local governments that want to be sanctuary cities. I want to continue my work with Senator Marsha Blackburn when she becomes governor, fighting illegal immigration. And the last thing I'll say, Dan, is back in the late 1820s, David Crockett represented District 9 in Congress. In 1835, he lost that race, and he gave the best concession speech ever when he said, "I'm going to Texas, and all you folks can go to hell." And in this century, I'm different than David Crockett in one way. I'm going to Congress, and I'm going to give them hell.
How can people find out more about your campaign? Do you have a website yet?
We do, Brent Taylor for Congress, and I would encourage everybody to go there, but also follow me on social media. We have a very good social media presence, and I would encourage everybody to follow it. We have a lot of information on there, but it's also very entertaining.
All right, I'll check it out, and thank you, and good luck in the campaign.
I appreciate it, Dan. Thank you.
All righty, Brent Taylor, and running for the 9th. I think there's going to be some other names popping up as well, by the way, on the Republican side. Remember, got to get through a primary, and both sides have to get through a primary. You've got on the Democrat side, you've got, of course, obviously Justin Pearson. You've got Steve Cohen. On the Republican side, you've got Brent Taylor. And there's some other names that are like percolating out there that I'm not at liberty to say, but there's some other names that are percolating out there on the conservative side. Who is the woman in, you know the name off the top of your head,
Charlotte
Sam.
Bergman.
Charlotte Bergman is also, is she officially running? Has she announced that she's going to?
Yeah. She's actually, I think she's run several times.
She's the one that Steve Cohen keeps.
Yeah.
She's one of the women that Steve Cohen keeps beating. The Republican, she's black, and a lot of people making, hay about the fact that, listen, Steve Cohen keeps beating, the black women in the primaries. So anyway, a good conversation there with Brent Taylor. Got a lot more straight ahead. Super Talk 99.7. And Joan has the news at 7:30. Joan.
Yeah, coming up here, busted doing stunts on I-24. You will not believe the ages of the people who've been arrested. It's coming up at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis. If you're one of those guys that is embarrassed to find out if you actually have low T, go talk to somebody who's actually done some treatments. They'll tell you it is life-changing. I'm here to tell you the place you need to go is the Low T Center. Now, if you're feeling like you're just not the guy that you used to be, maybe you're tired, you don't have the energy that you once did, go to the Low T Center, man, because they have helped a lot of guys just like you. Countless men across America and Tennessee getting their lives back through high-quality testosterone therapy. Low T Center set the standard that other clinics are still trying to measure up to. Again, there's nothing wrong with just going in and getting the tests. Now, they've got the highest quality testosterone on the market. It is pharmaceutical grade, and it's going to make you feel great. Again, there's no shame in just checking them out for yourself. They've got a variety of peptides to help you with muscle tone, recovery, sleep, weight loss, and a whole lot more because you're worth it. Check out lowtcenter.com right now. You can choose self-pay or insurance and have your treatment shipped right to your door. Check them out online and book your appointment today and get your life back, guys. Come on. lowtcenter.com is the website, lowtcenter.com. As always, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out, lowtcenter.com. Hey, it's Dan Mandis. The theme to today's commercial for Wellness Institute of Nashville is epic, as in epically getting your life back and epically getting rid of all of that pain that you've been living with for a long time. Now, at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, Dr. Kevin Mitchell, he prides himself on coming up with the latest and greatest technology to get you to feel better fast. And right now, they've got something called Medical Bay One. It's not a new TV drama. It is a brand new way to help you heal. Now, Dr. Mitchell himself designed Medical Bay One. He has found that our cells underneath our skin respond to photons of light, whether we like it or not. It is innately made by God, and Medical Bay One can help you heal. It's a futuristic healing machine that massages your body while doing full body lasers using red light, including near infrared. It also adds stem cell stimulations for tissue regeneration and uses photons of wavelengths for ultimate healing. Now, look, this is an amazing experience where you're sitting in an Artemis-type medical bay, and it's going to light your cells for photon healing. You mention my name, you get access to Medical Bay One and get $33 off of each visit. That's the epic spinal special, $33 off of each visit. Call them 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. Details, painisbad.com.
Good morning. It's now 7:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And President Trump says Iran's response to the U.S. proposal is totally unacceptable. Here's NBC's Alice Barr.
President Trump preparing for this week's high-stakes trip to China to meet with leader Xi Jinping as the war with Iran and its global economic fallout hang over the talks. The president rejected Iran's latest peace proposal, calling it totally unacceptable. Iranian state media reporting it focused on ending the war and on security and shipping traffic in the Gulf and Strait of Hormuz, without mentioning nuclear weapons, something President Trump has called a must, reasserting the U.S. will get a hold of Iran's enriched uranium at some point.
We have that very well surveilled. If anybody got near the place, we will know about it and we'll blow them up.
Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the war is ongoing and pointed to Iran's nuclear material as the central unresolved threat. Here in Nashville, a 16-year-old is facing charges after getting caught doing donuts and dangerous stunts on Interstate 24.
Metro Police say a group of cars were seen doing donuts and burnouts down the interstate early Sunday morning. A Metro helicopter followed a white Infiniti doing more than 115 miles per hour. The driver eventually stopped at a home on Packard Drive. 3 people got out and ran. The 16-year-old is facing charges in juvenile court.
That's Channel 4's Danielle Ledbetter. 2 girls, ages 13 and 15, who were in the car were also arrested. That is the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 731, Super Talk 99.7, WTN. Listen, if you're a dog owner, your dog's got some issues, maybe aggression, potty problems, anxiety, maybe basic obedience. Well, listen, my friends at Ridgeside K9 Nashville, that is the letter K, the number 9, rsk9nash.com. Call Jeff today, 615-878-0380, 615-878-0380. Again, rsk9nash.com. Ridgeside K9 Nashville, Veteran-owned, proven results, and guaranteed for life. Hey, it's Dan Mandis. I have owned so many homes that I've lost count, to be perfectly honest. But one of the things that I've learned after owning all of those homes is that when something's broken, you've got to fix it, because the longer that you wait, the more expensive it is to eventually fix it. Enter my friends at United Structural Systems. They know that the phrase time is money is especially true when it comes to home repairs. As in, the more time it takes for you to fix something, the more money it takes to fix it. So whether it is foundation repair, concrete leveling, or waterproofing, oftentimes time is of the essence. Now, they know this, which is why they want to give you options. Fix it now, pay it later. Courtesy of United Structural Systems. You know, you can't sit around and wait for the economy to get better before fixing and maintaining your home, because these issues, they tend to get worse over time, and that means that it could cost you more money to fix. That's why they are offering you 24 months, no interest financing options, because they do know the perils of waiting. If you need to call them for anything, foundation repair, waterproofing, or concrete leveling, you are going to get great service. And remember, you can get 24 months, no interest financing options to get you the peace of mind you need now. And the payments, well, they're going to come later. 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out, USSTN.com.
All right, there is a closure this morning at Percy Priest Dam on Bell Road. It's blocked there due to a crash. Also, 24 West in Antioch, there's a crash now just in the right lane. It's over Haywood Lane this morning. Careful in that area, very slow. Bellevue, Highway 70 South at I-40, there's a crash in the intersection. Clarksville Pike, southbound side in Bordeaux, a crash involving injuries at Abernathy Road, and then one more in Antioch. It's on Mount View Road at Baby Ruth Lane. Oh, also Berry Hill, 65 South. There's a crash on the right shoulder just past I-440. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.736, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well. And welcome on in to your Monday, May 11th. And a lot of people talking about the hantavirus. Want to welcome on into the program Dr. Manny Sethi. And doctor, welcome back to Nashville's Morning News. Orthopedic trauma surgeon at Vanderbilt University and also president and founder of your nonprofit, Healthy Tennessee. Always great to have you back on the radio program. And doctor, I got to ask you, a lot of people talking about hantavirus. Just first of all, there's like 19 different ways to pronounce this thing, and I've been struggling with each and every one of them. But how worried are you as a doctor with this now? Because for people that don't know, you had a whole bunch of folks on this cruise ship, and now a lot of the Americans have been flown back to America. And some of them have symptoms, and they're in this Nebraska National Quarantine Unit. They're being watched. But how concerned are you about this?
Well, Dan, thanks for having me, brother. Honestly, on a 1 to 10 scale, I'm like a -2. So I'm not very concerned about this. I mean, you know, the hantavirus is it comes from rodents. You can pick it up through the air, through touching, their like rodent poop or whatever. And the challenge is it's very hard to transmit it from person to person. Now, in this one strain in Argentina, you can. But for that reason of the difficulty in transmission from person to person, it's not going to spread far or wide. And I think, obviously we have control of it now. We found the Americans who have it. One has it. One is symptomatic of the people on that boat. So I have a very low concern that this could become something bigger.
Do we know how? Because you probably get some like inside information. So word was these people, one version of the story, because there's a couple of different versions, but one story is that they were bird watching in some sort of a landfill or a dump. I mean, have you heard how these people actually like contracted this thing? Because I don't understand. Are people like playing around with like rat feces or what?
Well, that I read that story too, that they were in the landfill bird watching. And you just never know because you can get it through contact. Like, so let's say you accidentally touch feces or there's urine on or some like a pee on the ground and you get that on your hands. But the other thing to say is we don't know, Dan, the medical history of those two patients, right? So usually in anybody who's immunocompromised, any virus, anything can become a big deal, right? So we really don't know their health. And typically like something like hantavirus could become something in someone who's immunosuppressed or, they're just sick and they have a lot of medical issues. And so, we don't know those factors. But here's the basic thing. If you're young, if you're healthy, you really have very little to worry about because in most people, the way this presents is like the flu, like you get a cold, you get some muscle aches, and then it goes away. Now, in the extremes, like during the Korean War, which is where this hantavirus kind of was named way back in the day, there was a strain that basically caused like pretty aggressive kidney failure. But now the one that's out there, this Andes version that they found on this boat from Argentina, it's more of, again, the chills, you get a fever. If you're immunocompromised and it gets worse, you can develop what's called hemorrhagic fever, where your blood clotting begins to not work and you internally bleed. But again, that is like really extreme. And in all those cases in the boat, I think the only two were those the bird watcher folks who really developed that hemorrhagic fever.
So this is what's interesting. I used to live in New York. I know that you used to live in Boston. They got like rats the size of cats in New York. Is there something specific to like the rats in Argentina that would carry this thing, or is it regional? Is it like how do the rats get it? I guess is my question.
Well, the rats. So the whole transmission of this virus is actually kind of unclear, and they don't really have an exact handle. But what the thought is that it's actually from birds. So birds are the carriers, and then they somehow infect rodents or rats, mice. And then that's how it's transmitted zoonotically. But it's interesting because it's really we found it in Argentina, in the Southwest in the United States. They found it. The whole Gene Hackman thing. He and his wife, I think, both had this hemorrhagic fever, the hantavirus that they picked up. But again, right, they were both much older, or at least Gene Hackman was in his 90s. So again, probably immunosuppressed. Yeah. So to come back to New York, I don't think it's really endemic there. And it's a low risk. I mean, true story, man. We have an RV and I was trying to take my kids somewhere and I got in there and these mice had gotten in there, I think during the ice storm. And my wife is like, hey, we're not going anywhere until this is all cleaned up. And so just like a couple of weeks ago, I was cleaning up and I swear to you, I was like, man, I hope I don't get the hantavirus.
Oh, that is so funny.
Crazy. It's just crazy that like this is happening. But to all the listeners, I'm telling you, don't watch CNN. Don't let them freak you out. Like it's totally okay. You know, like stocks of Moderna are up like 20% today because of they're making some vaccine.
Oh, you know what?
And
I saw that. My wife was like, "Oh, big shocker! They're making a vaccine for something that nobody in the United States or very few people will get regarding this virus, the hantavirus." And so, yeah, you're right. It seems to me like there's a lot of this is where the commentary part of the radio broadcast. It seems like they're trying to blow this thing way out of proportion. And I don't know if all these segments on CNN are brought to you by Moderna, but that's where it seems to be going.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally right, and that now, the left are saying, well, Trump canceled this and got rid of this, and this is this. And I just think it's just a lot to do about nothing. I will say that anytime something like this does happen, it's important to look at and think about the past. And, we've all went through COVID, and that was just horrible. But, our basic infrastructure things from COVID, Dan, we haven't changed. Like we haven't brought supply chains back to the United States to make the medicines that we need. We're still not focusing on getting healthier as a country. I think these are the bottom line things, the bedrock things that we need to be doing. I still agree, the World Health Organization, you can't trust them as far as you can throw them, in my opinion. And so I'm glad that we're kind of taking this on our own to look into. But even Trump's been criticized for that, which I agree with the president.
All right. Is there anything that I've left on the table here regarding the hantavirus?
No, just to all your listeners, look, if you do get around, any sort of like mice infestation stuff, don't be like me, like put on a mask or something and just clean it up. Like don't, it's just good practice. Obviously, like just wash your hands, do the right stuff, try to stay healthy. But I would not worry about this.
All right, Dr. Manny Sethi, always great to have you on, putting our minds at ease, and you have a great rest of week.
All right, God bless. Talk to y'all soon.
You too. See you later. Bye. So, Joan, you weren't here when we first started this morning show like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We had a mouse running around the second floor.
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a mouse.
Is it supposed to be gone?
What's that?
What?
We had a mouse. It was running around the little traffic area over there.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we were not happy. Me, Johnny, and Ken, and we started thinking, well, maybe we should just name the mouse. Like, let's just go ahead and, embrace it. So luckily,
What'd you name it?
You know what? The Mine Joan is the first to go.
Okay.
I think luckily, to the company's credit, they took care of the mouse very quickly. And then a memo came out. Can you people please not leave food all over the place? Because we had employees that would leave food like all over the place. Yep. It drove us nuts. They'd get the kitchen. Well,
Yeah.
Whatever. Moving right along. I'm going to get in trouble for that probably. Hey, 7:45, Joan's got or somebody's got the traffic on WTN. All right, very good. 7:46. And as far as your weather goes, it looks like we're going to have, is it still raining outside? Somebody help me. They don't allow us to have windows anymore because of the cameras and everything. So it was raining. I don't know if it still is, but eventually going to give away to sunny skies and a high around 77. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. Hey, real quick. By the way, guy on the super text line, Joan, Sam, we're talking about coded racism earlier.
Yeah.
He says, Mandis, your entire show this morning has been nothing but coded racism.
I knew it. I worked for a racist show.
I knew it. Who knew? It's so coded, even we didn't know that it was racist. By the way, you know who looks like he's seen? I need some video here, Sam. So you know who looks like he's seen some mice? Justin Pearson, in a video that I'm showing on Super Talk TV right now. So there was a video that went viral over the weekend, and it's Justin Pearson, and he's speaking at some sort of a college kind of a commencement thing, and he is just, it's almost like he's got James Brown syndrome, where he's He's stamping his feet, and he looks like he's got Todd Starnes posted, because this like went big time viral over the weekend, where Todd Starnes said, we're all worried about Justin Pearson because it looks like he's got like wasps in his pants or something. That's how it looks, and he is screaming at the top of his lungs, and the people who are watching him at this college commencement address, they're clapping and they're getting all excited and everything. And he's just, it is very performative. I mean, that does look like James Brown. It looks like, you know what it looks like?
It's a charter school in Memphis.
Is that that's a charter school in Memphis?
Yep.
Well, it looks pretty ridiculous, actually. And so people are now calling out Justin Pearson. If you haven't seen it, find me on X at Dan Manda Show, because it is definitely worth the watch. And people are mocking Justin Pearson at this point.
The teenagers, like a few of them stand up and clap, but for the most part, the rest of them are like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. By the way, there's a guy named Reverend Damian Thaddeus Jones, who starts putting Pearson on full blast on the socials. This is what he says. Memphis lawmaker Justin Pearson embodies most of black male leadership now. Performative, caricature, emotional. But the crowd is clapping, and this Reverend Damian Thaddeus Jones says, why? Don't black people deserve better than this, is what the guy says. So this reverend apparently is out of Florida. There's several, I guess, of the same name, whatever. But one guy in the comments says to this Reverend Damian Thaddeus Jones, stay out of our business here in Memphis. You're in Florida. And my response to that guy was, most of us here in Tennessee, we're tired of watching Memphis crumble. And that's why the state had to take over the schools, and the feds had to send in that law enforcement surge along with the governor. And that's why the state is keeping an eye on the district attorney. So, this is Justin Pearson. And I don't know, there are people that take Justin Pearson seriously. I don't know of one, but that's not necessarily my circle. There are a lot of people who look at this guy as, frankly, the joke that he is. There is, and we're going to talk about this with Chris Hand coming up probably at 8:35. But there is a picture where Justin Pearson is within probably 3 inches of the face of, it looks like a security guard.
It's a sergeant at arms.
Sergeant at arms in the state legislature. And he's got, the whole, his chin is in his hand, and he's looking, and he's very close to the sergeant in arms. And what was he doing in that photograph?
He wanted to be let into the special session. I think that was after several members of the gallery had been kicked out for being way too loud or whatever. And so he basically nullified his ability to be in there. But people used that photo as, it's going to go in the history books of Justin Pearson fighting the racist state of Tennessee.
Do you know what I
can tell you actually what was happening at that moment?
Go.
Was that the troopers were kicking his brother out of the gallery because his brother was being so loud. So they were kicking his brother out, and that's when he got all ticked off. Justin Pearson got ticked off that they were manhandling his brother, and he was protecting him.
Is that what you call it? Here's my thought on Justin Pearson. He's got a really weird infatuation with getting into people's private space.
Yeah.
Personal, that personal space bubble. Every time I look at Justin Pearson, he's getting into somebody else's personal space bubble. Like the THP trooper, when he called the guy boy, and he was like right up there.
Oh, that's
and then
okay. Go.
No, this is something completely different.
Oh,
John.
I see.
And then there was this picture where he is right in the grill of the, I guess Sam says, the sergeant in arms. And it's the same thing.
Don't forget, he also approached one of his colleagues in the state chambers and got up in his face in a discussion about gun violence.
It's like, okay, so what is up with him? Like, why does he have to get into people's personal space?
I can explain this. I can explain this beautifully. You ready? Yep. It's because low IQ individuals who can't assert their dominance with their mental acuity have to feel the need to do it physically in order to feel a sense of superiority about themselves.
Is that what it is? So he's trying to, it's an intimidation factor?
Exactly.
Because obviously, personally, I don't think that Justin Pearson is physically intimidating. I wouldn't feel like he could take Sam, right? Right?
I'd snap him like a toothpick.
All right. I don't want to get whatever. Anyway, are you? Wait a minute. But I got to ask this question, Joan, Sam. Are you both? Is it your assertion? Is it your contention that Justin Pearson is not really all that intellectually savvy? Is that what you're saying?
100%.
Have you not heard this?
God, Santa, table flipping, you and you.
I mean, if this doesn't scream higher intelligent being, I don't know what does.
God sent you to flip the tables of poverty. God sent you.
It's like he's doing a bad impression.
It's like he's doing a bad impression of James Brown.
I looked into, is he a pastor?
Well, that's what we were debating earlier because
because he does these things.
His father has a master's.
Church.
Yeah, he has a master's from Howard University, their divinity school program.
His father does.
Yes, but he does not.
Justin, he's at Bowdoin College. Is that how to say it?
Up in Maine.
In Maine, and he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Government and Legal Studies with a minor in Education Studies. So,
of this whole world.
That's happening there. All that is just performative art.
And it's not very good at that.
He probably, I mean, there are two routes to becoming a pastor, to being an ordained minister. And one of them is to go to school and, earn a divinity degree. Mm-hmm. And then you have to pass exams, and then you would become a pastor. This is when you get an online certificate.
An online certificate.
Yeah.
Flip the tables. Flip the tables.
And then you flip the tables.
Zah. It's not flip the tables, Joan.
I'm sorry.
It's flip the tables.
Yeah.
Flip the tables.
I mean, you know what? Coded racism. That's what you two. That's what you two are doing right now.
I'm sorry.
Goodness and mercy.
No, I'll
it's
clarify.
Coded racism.
I would have the same position about what I said on low IQ individuals, regardless of skin color. My analysis does not discriminate.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous. And by the way, in this particular piece, he's running around the church, and there are some people in the church kind of like eye rolling, like, what is this? Were those folks in that church that coded racism there too, because they're not buying into this whole flip the table lie. I think, you know what, in maybe what we ought to do is should I do an entire monologue and just put a ha after every single word? Would that be no? And the silence. Okay, very good. 7:55. You know, we got to put a ha after the crickets. That's what we need to do. You know, maybe we'll challenge Chris Hand. Maybe we'll see if Chris Hand can after every word he can just put a ha after every phrase.
And I believe we should go to break.
All right, whatever. 7:55. Joan's got the news coming up at 8. Joan.
Yeah, coming up. Oh, this could go on all morning.
It sure could.
Yeah. So we've got the latest on the Americans, the 17 of them that are now in Nebraska after coming off that hantavirus ship. The news is coming up here at 8 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 7:56. What to tell you about my friends at Mark Spain Real Estate. Avoid the headaches of a traditional home sale and move on your timeline with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. It's Dan Mandis. Selling your home can be overwhelming. That is why who you work with matters. Now, my friends at Mark Spain Real Estate, they can help you sell your home hassle-free without the stress of putting your home on the market. Now, Mark Spain Real Estate has been in the business for 30 years, and they know what matters most to their clients, a quick sale and maximum profit. Now, one of their satisfied clients, Chris, said this: selling our 16-year-old home was quick thanks to the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. We avoided the stress of showings, constant cleaning, and negotiations. Their guaranteed offer was beyond what we were hoping for. It's Mark Spain Real Estate, and you could be next. Mark Spain Real Estate is the #1 most reviewed real estate company in the U.S. with over 13,000 five-star reviews. Trust them to sell your home fast and for top dollar. Find out what the guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's no obligation. Call 855-299-SOLD or go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Good morning. It's 8:01. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. In a plane carrying the 17 Americans from the hantavirus-stricken cruise ship have arrived now in Nebraska. That happened overnight. Health officials are saying that one of those Americans now testing positive and another one is having symptoms.
The cruise, which cost around $15,000 per person, traveled to some of the most remote islands in the world, including Tristan da Cunha, an island of about 200 people. British paratroopers parachuting onto that island with medics and supplies after a suspected case of hantavirus was confirmed there.
ABC's Lionel Moise. A Robertson County jury now convicting Lucas Manfield of killing two kids in a rollover crash near Springfield last January. Here's Channel 4's Hunter Hoagland.
Investigators say 7-year-old Maya and 4-year-old Jackson were killed in January of last year when Mansfield crashed along Highway 161 just outside of Springfield. The Tennessee Highway Patrol says Mansfield drove off the road, hit a culvert, and then went airborne before slamming right into a utility pole. Troopers say those two kids were not wearing seatbelts, but Mansfield was.
Mansfield could spend decades behind bars when he's sentenced in September. There's a court hearing set for this morning for the man accused in the latest attempt on President Trump's life. 31-year-old Cole Allen will appear before Judge Trevor McFadden for a formal arraignment and status hearing. Now, the judge is expected to formally advise him of the charges, and Allen is expected to enter a not guilty plea. Meantime, Cole Allen's public defenders are trying to get the two top Justice Department officials removed from the case. They argue that U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro and Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche should be disqualified from the case because they were both inside the ballroom during the alleged incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Now, oil prices on the rise this morning after President Trump rejected Iran's counteroffer to his proposed one-page memorandum of understanding. Brent crude is trading at $104 a barrel this morning. The Dow futures are minus 81, NASDAQ futures losing 43, and the S&P futures are down 11 points. That is the latest news. We've got your traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 8:04, Nashville's Morning News. Dan Mendes here, and I need to make a formal apology to my listeners. I need to apologize for not getting my vision corrected sooner and for not encouraging you earlier to call Dr. Horn at Vision for Life. Now, in all seriousness, I did have lens replacement surgery just over a year ago, and I can tell you firsthand, it has been life-changing. Now, you don't realize how much you're missing out on when you're living with blurry or cloudy vision. Driving, reading, even just seeing people clearly across the room, everything is sharper, brighter, and easier now that I've had my procedure. Now, whether you're dealing with cataracts, age-related vision loss, or you're just tired of glasses and contacts, Dr. Horn has a solution tailored to your eyes and your lifestyle. Now, the procedure is quick, it is painless, recovery is fast, and the results do indeed speak for themselves. So stop putting it off. Call them, 615-436-2020, 615-436-2020. Find them online, visionforlife.com. That's visionforlife.com to schedule your consultation and tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out.
Okay, that is a crash on westbound 24 in Antioch over Haywood Lane. The right lane remains blocked off. You've got 40 eastbound slow in Mount Juliet at Wilson-Davidson County line because of a crash. The right lane there also blocked off. Bordeaux, Clarksville Pike southbound at Abernathy Road. Watch it, there's a crash there. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
8:07 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well. And welcome on in to a Monday, May 11th of 2026. You know, we were talking about and having some fun with this Justin Pearson video that is, you know, kind of taken the internet by storm of this preaching that he was doing. And as I said in the 5 o'clock hour, you know, far be it from me to tell people how to praise. But, you know, it's not me only that is making fun of him and his style of preaching, the dancing around and the screaming and whatever else. The Black Alpha Network posted this: Black Americans, this is how the Democrats feel about you. This is their version of black political representation, and they wonder why we, he says, have decided to vote couch. You know, one of the things that I did point out in the 5 o'clock hour, then we're going to get to Brian Wilson, but one of the things that I pointed out in the 5 o'clock hour related to Justin Pearson is that, you know, you have all of these people that are hand-wringing over the, and I'm going to air quote this, the Republicans taking away the black vote in Memphis. Well, here's the deal. Like when it comes to, for example, the latest election involving Justin Pearson, they haven't been exactly coming out in droves. I mean, it's been a very low election the last couple of times that Pearson has won his seat there in the Tennessee State House. So when it comes to the state of Tennessee, which traditionally has a lower turnout anyway, then you look at his particular district in Memphis, there's not a lot of passion for this guy, to be perfectly honest, based on the amount of people that came out to vote for him. So I think that when it comes to the 9th and who's going to be running, you've got Justin Pearson, you've got Steve Cohen. Earlier today, we did speak to State Senator Brent Taylor. Others are going to be throwing in their hat in the next day or two, and we'll have the opportunity to talk to all of them and see. Well, Justin Pearson won't come on, obviously, but for, you know, the Republicans that want to come on, honestly, anybody that wants to come on and talk about the 9th, we have 100,000 watts of FM radio, and anybody that wants to come on and talk about the 9th that is running for the 9th Congressional District here in the state of Tennessee, we'd love to have you on. Now, Brian Wilson joining us on Super Talk 99.7. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing well. Happy Monday to you, Dan.
Yes, indeed. So you and I were talking over the weekend, and you were very excited about the UAP and UFO stuff that was released on Friday. And so you agreed to come on and tell us, you know, what is real, what you think might be false, and what might be coming. Now, I did tell people in the 5 o'clock hour that I gave up when I was reading about one paper from, I think, 1972, where they talked about a 4.5-foot, you know, Martian with a helmet. And I thought, it sounds like, you know, Kazoo from the Flintstones.
Well, I think what you have to understand here is that they're dropping documents, right? So, you know, there are a lot of documents. Let's say you're at the FBI in the 1960s and somebody calls into the bureau where you work and says, I saw a UFO. You file a report. Now, I mean, you know, you put a little note to the file. I talked to so-and-so. This person told me that they witnessed this, that, blah, blah. It doesn't mean that anybody took it seriously. Excuse me. But it does mean that there was a report filed. Doesn't mean that it was a valid report. So there is some of that junk, I would say, that is in there. But I would also say that there are some stuff that raises a few eyebrows. I would also go a step further and say this is probably not the holy crap stuff that everybody's been waiting for. That I think they're easing us into it. Some of this stuff has been out before. Some of it has not been out there before. But there was certainly some stuff in there that was really, really interesting. I pulled one soundbite that I'd like to play for you. 1965, Gemini 7. You got two of the best astronauts to ever come along, Frank Borman and Jim Lovell, and they're on a 14-day mission in a 2-man capsule, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, Frank Borman tells NASA, we've got a bogey at 10 o'clock. Here's the soundbite.
Gemini 7 here, you listen on your 8.
Loud and clear. 7, go ahead.
A bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7. So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high. Roger. 77, is that the booster or is that an actual sighting? So we have several, looks like the three up here, actual sighting.
So if you can, I mean, it's hard to understand sometimes. No, it's an actual sighting. We got three things we're looking at up here.
Yeah.
They go on to explain that one of them was their booster, which, helped put them in orbit, and it was in the same vicinity, and they could see it. One of them was some particles that they said at about 3 to 4 miles, but then they also said, bogey 10 o'clock high. And they kept coming back to it, and NASA kept saying, bogey, what's this all about? Well, that was something that I had never seen before, and I thought was very interesting. A lot of the NASA stuff was pretty good. You got stuff from NASA, the Department of War, the State Department, and the FBI. Some of it junk, some of it we've seen before, but buried in there are real nuggets that suggest that, something was going on out there. The Department of War stuff is, a lot of it is stuff from, I would say the modern era, the 2000s on.
Yep.
Where our pilots just saw a lot of UAPs. It's like there's a little report that gets filed every time. It's a mission report, and this jet was sent out to do this, and it goes, well, it went to its mission, it completed its mission, it's returning, and then you just see a couple of references. Encountered UAPs. This happened, it would seem, almost a daily basis for a while.
Yeah.
And
the
was a
other
mystery.
The other thing about this, talk about the G's. Like these crafts, whatever they are, they're doing maneuvers that, number one, we don't have the ability to do with our crafts. And some of these things are maneuvers and speeds that literally a human being could not survive.
If you look at things in the traditional way, yes, that's right. And there are people who say, how, are these drones? Are they somehow, monitoring us in some way? Are there not people aboard them? Some of them are very small, and who knows? But some of them are larger. I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you this: there are a lot of eyebrows that get raised, and there's a lot of stuff out there, but. Get ready, because Tim Burchett and Anna Polino Luna and a bunch of others who are read into this on Capitol Hill have said, you haven't seen anything yet, because they've seen stuff inside classified hearings that they're just dying to get out there. And Tim Burchett, for one, says, this stuff will just blow your mind. You're just not ready for the things that will be coming. I think they're easing us into it. I think there's going to be dribs and drabs that get dropped into. And, a lot of the stuff will just be, you don't need to pay much attention to it because it's not much. Some of it is just like eye-popping and just amazing.
8:15, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. More with Brian Wilson coming up next. Time to check the roads. All right, very good. As far as your weather for today, eventually going to see sunny skies and highs around 77. Appreciate you listening to Super Talk 99.7. And Super Talker Brian Wilson is joining us. All right, so Brian, when we talk about Age of Disclosure, you and I have nerded out on Age of Disclosure.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting documentary, that's for sure.
It is, and you're talking about people like Tim Burchett and others. J.D. Vance, I think, is in it. Marco Rubio is in it as well. And that talked about these huge ships or orbs that were just hovering over our missile sites and our nuclear sites, and was able to even manipulate them. Is there anything in this current dump that would be kind of like that shocking and surprising?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I think it probably, some of it should be coming. Now, I'm going to say something that people are going to be surprised to hear me say. I think actually some of this should remain classified. And I'll tell you why. If you buy into the idea that, okay, we have retrieved some craft, maybe we retrieved some biologics, because that's what some people have stated, and some of these people have a great deal of credibility. And so they say we have done this and that we're reverse engineering it, just like the Chinese are and just like the Russians are. Well, the one thing you don't want to do is let your enemies on the world stage know how far you've gotten in that process. So I think some of this will remain very secret. I think some of the stuff you see out there is stuff that we have reverse engineered, and it's from us. Some of it is clearly beyond our ability to understand and grasp. But I think that at the end of the day, there's enough out there that raises question marks that you have to ask yourself some pretty serious questions about what you believe in this regard. You know, I read in many places that the Trump administration has quietly reached out to ministers and clergymen to give them sort of a heads up to have them prepare their flocks for the things that will be coming. So if that is true, there may be some very interesting things coming down the pike in the days ahead.
Have you seen this whole thing about demons, Brian?
Yeah, there is a theory. A lot of people subscribe to it that we're talking about. Anna Luna Polina. What is her name? Anna Paulina Luna.
Anna Paula.
Anna Paulina Luna.
Anna Paulina Luna.
I think I got it right, actually. She has said interdimensional beings. What does that mean?
Yes,
I don't know.
I've been grappling with that for.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know. It is so fantastical that it's just. I mean, some of the stuff that you're hearing is out there. That it's just hard to sort of absorb all that. But some people believe that, that these may be demons and angels, and there certainly is a number of people out there who buy this stuff. Look, I don't know what to believe. I'm like, I want to see stuff that seems to have credibility about it. And every time, I see something that sort of, I look at it and say, well, that's junk, and I don't care about that, and I don't care much about this. But ever so often, there is just something that gets dropped into the system that you go, holy moly, what are we dealing with here? And I'm not sure that anybody's got a good beat on it as yet.
So if it's a demon, like people are talking about, and Joan can chime in here, if it's a demon, is that indicative of the end times? Because I've been saving for my retirement for like years. And if all that has been for naught, I'm going to be irritated.
Yeah, it's above my pay grade, man. I'm not able to discern it. I will tell you that I study this stuff a lot, and there are all kinds of weird theories out there, space-time warp bubbles and interdimensional beings, and that there may be 11 dimensions. I mean, there's all kinds of wild stuff out there. But what is pretty clear at the bottom, something is interacting in airspaces that should be secure, that we don't seem to know anything about. And some of it, I think we do know about it, but I think some of it we don't know about it. And I think that genuinely, over the years, that nobody has been able to completely figure out what it is that's going on. And there still seems to be a lot of curiosity about it, but something is going on. What is it?
Okay, 6081 says this. Anna Paulina Luna was discussing the possibility that they're time travelers and that they've negatively impacted our planet by interfering with our history, starting all the way back to medieval times. I'm with you, Brian. I don't know how to respond to that, but I remember reading something like that. My eyes started glazing over because it's like, this is above my pay grade. I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. So,
you start getting into things like quantum entanglement and all of these very deep astrophysicist theories. It's way above my pay grade.
Oh, you know what?
Because I have a hard time balancing my checkbook.
5413 says, the bank will do that for you, Brian. You have an app? I haven't had a checkbook in years. Anyway, angels and demons don't need spaceships.
Well,
there is that.
There you go.
All right, very good, Brian. As always, excellent job. And if there's another drop, can you do the same thing for us? And just let me know what's going on.
I'll be your clearinghouse for all things alien.
Thank you, Brian, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday. By the way, everybody knows you are on baby watch for me. So
that's right.
If my daughter ends up going into labor, I've actually, Brian, just so you know, I've got a go bag. So if it's like 5:15 on a Tuesday, and I get the call that, water has broken and hospitals are being driven to, I will be calling you and seeing if you could take over after like the 5:30 news. I know that you can't wait.
Oh, I'm always here for you, Dan. You know I've got your back.
All right. Thank you, Brian, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye. All right. Brian Wilson there at 822, Super Talk 99.7, WTN. People should stop making crap up to scare people. 76, 79.
There you go.
Am I scared? We weren't scaring anybody, were we?
No, you're not. But it's not you, but the people that have this discussion about the evil beings and demons and
Space demons.
space demons. I mean, honestly.
Is there a difference between like a space demon and like an earth demon?
One of them's in space, Dan.
Thank you for stating the absolute obvious. But there's got to be other things. Whatever. All right. So I'm going to should I repeat what I told folks in the 5 o'clock hour about scaring people? Because
go for it.
Yeah.
All of this conversation, because remember on Friday we took calls and I said, okay, so you can either talk about Justin Pearson or, the whole UFO thing, and had a bunch of people freaking me out talking about demons and stuff. So I woke up this morning at like midnight, because I wake up at midnight. So about 11:50, I wake up this morning. I had a nightmare, Joan.
Yeah.
Where I dreamed that it was so realistic that some sort of like devil-like, demonic, slimy hand had put the hand on my right shoulder. I felt this dirty, disgusting demon hand laying its hand on my right shoulder, and I woke up screaming. I literally woke up. This is what it's doing to me.
I have a question for you, though.
So I'm one of those like weak-minded people that apparently this is having an impact. Maybe I need to go see a pastor because it's having an impact. Well, go ahead, Joan.
I just wanted to know, like, the demon, you saw its hand.
Yes.
Did he have a mani? I mean, were his nails manicured at least? I mean, was he taking care of himself?
You know what? I didn't notice that. The fingers were.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was. I think I know what happened. It's a confluence of stories. So it's this story.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what
Did you watch something over the weekend?
I did.
What did you watch?
I watched War of the Worlds. Remember on Friday we were talking about War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
And so there's a scene in War of the Worlds where the hand of the alien comes out of the spaceship when they start dying.
See,
and it's just those two stories.
Just playing on your conscience.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you should still consult a pastor or priest.
Because honest to goodness, I thought that I was going to die. I thought Satan himself had come to get me.
See, Satan doesn't have manicured nails.
Yeah, because cleanliness
You
is
can
next
tell.
to godliness.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but it scared the living crap out of me. And I woke up screaming. Now, luckily, I sleep on essentially the second floor of the house, so nobody is, around me, so I didn't wake anybody up except myself. The great thing was, though, that this demon made sure to do this right before it really was time for me to wake up.
So perfect.
I looked at my clock and it was like 11:50, and it's like, okay, thank you, demon.
Demons are timekeepers.
Sure, I would have much rather had, woken up to my phone alarm, but that's okay. Every once in a while you got to deal with the demon, especially in radio. So. What would you say, Joan?
If you say so.
Did you get my joke?
Yeah, I got it.
Every once in a while, you have to deal with a demon, especially when you work in radio.
Yeah.
Want to make sure that we got that
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
They come to the door here.
They do.
Every once in a while.
Moving right along, 8:25. Joan's got the news at 8:30, Joan.
Yeah, so do we have something to worry about with an outbreak of hantavirus? What a local physician has to say about that coming up at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. It is 8:26, Nashville's morning news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. People are making all kinds of jokes on the Super Text line. Let's see here. Dan's Punctual Demon. Thank you, 1586. Window Nation. All right, so May's weather, pretty nice. Those hot summer days are going to be here soon. And let me tell you something. It rained. It rained last night. It's raining this morning as well. I don't know if it is. No, it's not raining anymore. But if you look at your windows and you've got some moisture or maybe some water on your windowsill, that means that you need new windows from my friends at Window Nation. Now, the pros at Window Nation, they're in the middle of a great deal going on right now where you can get energy-efficient windows at a great price. Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 Windows free sale is going on right now. You can replace all the windows in your home and get half of them for free. You could get zero down payment and no payments or interest for 2 years, courtesy of my friends at Window Nation. I've got, count them, 4 Window Nation windows in my home. They've got an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau, 96% customer satisfaction rating, and over 45,000 five-star reviews, including mine. So check them out, Window Nation. It's windownation.com. And don't forget, buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free. That sale going on right now. You could also replace all the windows in your home, get half of them for free, plus zero money down, no payment or interest for 2 years. Find them online, windownation.com. That's windownation.com. Dan Mandis here. Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. You know, most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere in trying to pay down that principal. It's Dan Mandis here. Now, here's what a lot of homeowners simply do not realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. Now, with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. Now, one client going through Loan Pronto just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 every single month. Now, here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out-of-pocket expenses, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Now, rates right now are at near 3-year lows, so you've got to act right now with Loan Pronto. Find them online, loanpronto.com, and see how much money you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto. 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call them at 615-499-5780, 615-499-5780. Find them online anytime, loanpronto.com. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, and MLSconsumeraccess.org.
Good morning. It's now 8:32. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. One American who was evacuated from the hantavirus-stricken cruise ship has tested positive for the virus. Another is showing mild symptoms. ABC's Victor Akendo says they're at the National Quarantine Unit in Omaha, Nebraska.
The American who tested for the Andes strain of the virus is being treated by the university's biocontainment unit. The CDC initially announcing there will be no mandatory quarantine for those who aren't showing symptoms. They will be allowed to either go home and self-monitor for 42 days or stay at the quarantine center. Those remaining Americans among the last group of passengers allowed to leave the Dutch cruise ship, red military buses then carrying them via police escort to the airport. They were then sprayed with disinfectant before boarding the plane.
Meantime, former Senate candidate and Nashville physician Manny Sethi telling Nashville's Morning News whether we have something to be worried about here.
Honestly, on a 1 to 10 scale, I'm like a -2, so I'm not very concerned about this. The challenge is it's very hard to transmit it from person to person. Now, in this one strain in Argentina, you can. But for that reason of the difficulty in transmission from person to person, it's not going to spread far or wide.
Fire crews are on the scene of a fire at the former La Dance nightclub in Nashville. The call came in around 4 o'clock this morning. News 2's footage from the scene shows heavy smoke coming from the building's roof. The fire is reportedly extinguished now, and there's no cause. La Dance nightclub was the scene of a shootout 2 weekends ago after some patrons were kicked out for fighting. The club owners announced that nightclub is closed permanently last week. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Right now, we're beginning trading here on the Dow Jones Industrials, 47 points lower. The NASDAQ down 27. S&P is up just 1 point. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
I can already tell you that one of the biggest highlights of my May is going to be the open house on Saturday, May 30th over at the Glock store. Now, this is going to be a huge event. If you are into 2A, if you are into guns and ammunition and all the latest and greatest in technology, you've got to be there. Saturday, May 30th, again, at the Glock store, their 6th annual open house. I'm going to be there. Matt Murphy's going to be there. Chris Hand is going to be there as well. I've been telling you about the raffles. Now, they are telling us that they're going to be giving away over $50,000 worth of incredible gear. That is amazing, including 3 Glocks, all in one day. Again, Saturday, May 30th. Set your calendar. So just so you know, the $50,000 worth of gear they're going to be giving away, that is one of the biggest giveaways ever. Now, that's twice what they gave away last year. So not only are they going to be giving away those 3 Glocks, they're going to be giving away red dot optics and Radiant ramjets as well. And remember that the earlier that you get there, the quicker you can get into the raffles and the better your chance of winning. Plus, you're going to have food trucks and vendors and great deals, amazing equipment, and a whole lot more. Saturday, May 30th from 10 to 2. Come on out, and this is my two-way paradise. Find them online. It is shoot270.com, shoot270.com, and glockstore.com. Dan Mandis here, and DT McCall's is my furniture and appliance store. AJ and all the folks are so great to work with, and right now they want to help you upgrade your dryer and elevate your laundry. That's right. If you are even thinking about getting new appliances, check them out right now, online or in store. They've got massive rebates, great specials on washers and dryers, not to mention dishwashers as well. Now, in my house, my dishwasher, my washer, my dryer, and my refrigerator all from DT McCall's. It's such a great place to shop. Great place to save money and get terrific appliances and furniture. I was a customer before I was an endorser. They have as many of their items made right here in the volunteer state as possible, and they support WTN, so you should give them a shot at your business as well. 5 stores located across Middle Tennessee, Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, and Franklin, always online anytime, dtmccalls.com.
So we've got a crash this morning on the at the Eastern Split, 40 westbound at the off-ramp to eastbound I-24, and the left shoulder on the off-ramp is now blocked off by at Old Hickory Boulevard in Laverne, a crash at Saddle Creek Way, and one more in Antioch on Preston Road at Cane Ridge Road. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Psycho.
All right, so what's the point of this song? Like, what kind of demonic message are you sending the audience of WTN?
Whoa, me nothing.
I think he's just trying to hip you up a bit, Dan.
Hit me.
Believe it or not, this song goes great with that shirt.
Okay.
If you left the
like
top
the shirt.
button buttoned and the rest of them were unbuttoned, and you also had a bandana do-rag.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever.
If you went full cholo on him.
Cholo?
Yeah.
You're from LA. You should know what that means.
I know. Well, cholo means Hispanic,
Yeah,
right?
You got to
It's a
get
specific outfit.
you got to get them tube socks up to the knees.
Yeah. The jorts that go down to your calves,
Yeah.
Sexy.
sandals, chain wallet.
Joan, please don't ever do that again.
You already know I'm going to clip it later.
Oh man. Anyway, you know what you ought to do, Sam? If you're into, please turn that off.
Please turn it off.
Just make it stop. You know what you ought to do? Like, you should take some of that Justin Jones like stuff that he was doing in that church, and just like put it behind a beat rap.
There you go.
Wouldn't that be?
Well, but the rate of speed at which he was moving, it would have to be like Cotton Eye Joe or something, which would probably come off poorly.
Again, the joke going right over my head.
What were you guys talking about? Concealed racism, right? Wasn't that what you were talking about?
Yeah. What did the guy call it, Joan?
Coded
racism.
Coded. That's how much I paid attention. I didn't even remember that it's coded race. My entire show apparently is coded racism. Even the whole thing about the hantavirus. Coded racism.
What?
The whole thing about Iran and how this thing isn't over yet. Coded racism, Chris.
You want the war to be over? You sound like a coded racist.
That's exactly right. How dare you want a war to be over?
Now, is that coded CODED or coded COATED?
Either way, I'm not buying it.
Goaded racism.
Is that GOATED or
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
GOADED?
Oh.
Yeah.
We're just wording in here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, is that you've got people who, as I said during the segment, I'm not going to tell people how to praise, but the whole thing, for me, I think that Justin Pearson is a phony.
Yeah.
And that's just bottom line. We can't figure out where the dude got his preacher cred from.
Probably the suburbs of Maine.
What did Joan? You said something online, like an online thing.
She said Got ordained online.
Oh, he was ordained. He was likely ordained online because he doesn't have the credentials, the Bachelor of Science or whatever,
right,
in divinity. He has it in,
education,
political stuff,
government,
education, whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
it's not related at all
Yeah.
to being a pastor. So the only other pathway is to get an online ordination, which isn't.
Well, so here's the great news. The great news is that we're going to be able to ask Justin Jones ourselves all of these questions because we have put out the word.
Pearson or Jones?
Justin Pearson.
Okay.
We have put out the word, or Justin Jones, we've put out the word that they're welcome on my show or Chris's show. I know Matt
that'll
put out
get him right in.
Yeah. So they're going to be in at some point.
Sure.
I called his office on Friday and left a message.
You did?
I
Did you?
I did. So we have a great conversation.
They call you back yet?
I'm still waiting.
You might be for a while.
Joan, you have a good Mother's Day?
I did. Thank you. Yeah.
Did your son happen to win you a championship of anything? Any kind of shape or form?
No, he did not. But I think that may have happened in your family.
Bishop won the Bombs for Moms tournament.
Nice.
The 6-year-old bracket. We were at the baseball field until 11:20 on Saturday night.
Wow.
But we got to come home with a championship ring, so it was all worth it.
You know, the great thing is, so you need to ask Bishop, so which trophy was more impressive? The one for nincompoops in the news or the one for Bombs for Moms?
You know, it's funny because my wife was sad. We were a trophyless house for a few hours, and Bishop said, "Don't worry, Mom.
I'm going
to get you another one."
And then he walked up to the plate, and just like Babe Ruth, he pointed to the outfield wall.
His kids were hitting some runs, man. They scored 25 runs in their championship game.
So is this like a home run derby for squirts?
Yeah.
For little kids?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I wouldn't want to play that team. I'd have been embarrassed. Those kids were.
It's like the murderer's row of 6-year-olds.
They were solid. They were a solid team.
Okay. Well, very good.
Yeah. So
well, good for Bishop.
Congratulations.
And he
to
got
Bishop.
a little ring or
he
something.
got a championship ring.
That's so cool.
It had like the heart, the old school heart tattoo that says "Mom" across it that everybody would get.
Yeah.
It has that. It's on my Instagram page at @ChrisAnd.air. But
very cool.
I keep threatening my mom.
He
with
was
one of those.
so hype. So here's the funny part: his last game didn't start until 9:20.
At night?
Yes, ma'am.
Holy guacamole.
And we had been there since 9 a.m. because Brooks had a tournament too.
Oh,
so we were at the ball field in just an insane amount of time. So I didn't know what to do because the other team had been playing that he was going to play. So it's like, what team is going to have the advantage? Are they more tired or are we not? Are we cold? So I let Bishop have a Coca-Cola at about 8:45.
You gave him sugarized Coke?
He was hype. And
Big hype.
And as he's standing at second base as the game went on, you could tell he needed to go to the bathroom because he's standing there kind of doing the dance in between pitches.
So I think I need to help you out with some perspective, young man.
Tell me.
This is how Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire got started on steroids.
That's what I said. I felt like we were helping the team juice up a bit.
Is there an asterisk on his ring?
No.
Because there needs
not.
to be.
There was nothing in the rules that said he couldn't have caffeine at that time.
I think it's kind of stated. There's 6. I'm just kidding.
We allowed it to happen.
Okay, very good. Joan, you're into baseball. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She's not paying attention.
I'm not.
I can always tell when Joan is like gone. And I don't know what happens like when she just.
So I'm listening to audio. So I have a presentation for the next newscast because that's what you hire me to do, right?
Did I hire you?
Shut up.
Moving right along.
I think doping in baseball would make it more entertaining.
I'm with you.
Maximize the potential, man. I want to see 20 and 30 run games and, people hitting 500-foot home runs.
Why
See,
not?
that's the thing. And who cares if they live past 40, right? There, Sam?
Yeah.
Make them sign a waiver.
Let their heads explode. No problem at all. Like, so this is what
Same
Sam...
with football. Look, same with football. Lifetime contract. I don't want to see a 70-year-old return a punt and get exploded, die on the field with some honor.
There would be honor in it.
Yeah.
Something wrong with you, buddy.
I'm not alone in this.
I bet you a lot of the athletes would sign up for that too.
Yeah.
You think so?
100%.
Well, but if you're an athlete that doesn't want to take roids, then you are at a disadvantage.
Well, then let's set up a separate boring league.
All right, fair enough. Anyway,
This is the clean league.
Yeah, the one that has pitching duels.
Yeah, yawn fest.
They're so exciting, those pitching duels, aren't they?
Oh, it's the 15th inning and no one's got a hit yet.
There was an Astros game the other day. I think it was the Astros, but it was 11 innings, and there was only 2 hits
from both sides.
From the winning team. The losing team had 1 hit.
All right, I think that would be. I would. You know what you need to do? You need to lower the pitching mound and up the steroids. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
And make it closer.
And cork the bats.
It'd be a recipe for success.
That's all we got to do.
Worked for Sammy Sosa.
That's exactly right. Although the strange thing about Sammy Sosa was that he took so many steroids that he forgot how to speak English when he went to testify in front of the Congress.
No hablo.
Also, man.
You know, say or soy.
Shapeshift.
Is it soy or say? You know.
No, soy.
You know, don't know. Anyway, moving right along.
You know, don't
speak
know.
English.
Moving right along. What do you have for this segment, Chris?
Well, I brought the championship story, but I was listening to the UFO stuff.
Me and Brian, yeah.
I'm not buying it.
Thank you.
At all.
Thank you.
Like not one bit. Like I just can't. I can't invest in this. I was going through some of the files that everybody was all excited about on Friday. One of them is literally a photoshopped photo from the FBI.
How do you know?
Because it said artist rendering of a witness description via the FBI.
Well, it was an artist rendering. They admitted it. If they were faking it, they wouldn't admit they were faking it, but they were admitting that they were faking it, so obviously it's real.
I don't believe it.
What?
I don't believe any of this.
All right. Well, whatever.
Demons.
You think it's demons?
Demons and aliens.
Okay.
I mean, demons and angels, not demons and aliens. I don't believe it's aliens.
So,
and when everybody's bowing that one knee because we need a one world government to fight the aliens, I'm not a fan. I don't buy it.
All the governments in the world going to be combining to fight off the demons?
Alex Jones said, "Get ready for false flags. Project Bluebeam incoming." So.
Okay, so if that's a false flag, then what are we really supposed to be looking at? If that's the false flag,
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Is it the gay frogs?
Maybe
that they're trying to cover up.
They're trying to cover up the gay frogs.
The demons are to cover up the gay frogs.
They could be.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The gay frogs were part of a mission to worship Baphomet. You know.
Are you in on it being aliens?
I'm not in on any of it. I already had the whole thing. I talked to Brian. I think it's all very interesting. I think that there are aliens. I just don't think that we're going to find out about them. That's my take.
They touched him overnight. Did you know that?
Well, that was a demon.
Oh, that
I heard.
The demon.
Dan was telling me that. I was like,
yeah.
Demon touched
for people just tuning in, I woke up this morning and I dreamed that a demon with as long, slimy fingers touched my shoulder.
And I woke up really spooky.
I woke up screaming. I did. I woke up screaming. It scared the living crap out of me.
Were you never asleep at all?
Maybe, for the first time in a long time, you're finally awake.
Maybe he was returning you. Like he had stolen you during the night, and he was just pushing you back down, returning you to your bed.
He had to return you as the night man
As
so
you're
you could wake up and become the day man.
Yeah.
The what?
The day man.
The day man.
He battles with the night man.
Oh.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You've never watched Always Sunny?
No.
It's awesome.
No.
It's like one of the best shows ever made.
You're like the polar opposite of Frank.
Okay. Good.
Danny DeVito character.
You should watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I tried to get my wife into it, and she's like, "They're always yelling." I was like, "Yeah, but you have to assume that in every scene they're like a couple beers away from being blackout drunk, and then it makes sense."
Okay. Very good. Hey, by the way, so real quick, what did you do for your wife on Mother's Day?
We were gonna go to the zoo, but then we were at the ball field and we didn't get home until like 12:30. So we did a indoor spa day. We broke out the foot bath. We had face masks, and we watched Father of the Bride, which is a favorite of my wife. And we just chilled. We ordered a bunch of food.
I love this.
Got some hibachi to go, and we grazed and we chilled, and it was awesome.
What did you do, Joan?
We had a picnic in the backyard.
Yeah.
And then hung out together and played a game that we like to play. And then had a nice dinner with crab cakes.
Hold on, back up.
Is this a secret game?
Back up.
Back it up,
That's
Joe.
It's called Ruba.
Oh, you must really love that game.
Yeah.
Well, they play once a year.
I'll think of the name of it. I don't know. Anyway, so it was just a nice family day.
So your kids still aren't getting you anything you like from Mother's Day is what you're telling us after
I
all
got
these
flowers.
years.
I got flowers. Yeah.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Sam, what did you do for your mom?
We hosted a brunch at my grandmother's place. Unfortunately, right now, and if people are out there looking for something to pray for, my grandfather's in the hospital, is having a small procedure today, nothing major, but he had to sit out of it, so we provided brunch and took care of our mothers, made sure they got to eat and celebrated them. But as far as gifts go, I have no money for gifts. I give her my love. It's okay. I'm her favorite anyway.
It doesn't count.
No, it counts.
It doesn't.
According to her, it does.
Rummy Cube. That's the name of it.
What?
I'm sorry. Was that at a bad time?
No. It sounds like a dice shooting game where you drink rum, but okay.
Rummy Cube.
Rummy Cube. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm telling you, you'll love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, very good. All right.
And we're praying for your grandfather.
Thank you.
What'd you do, Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
Other than be woken up by demons.
I know, right?
Placed back in his bed by demons.
No, you know what? It's a ritual. I go every morning.
You had a ritual, and then you were contacted by a demon.
Well, so the demon was Sunday night, Monday morning, and Mother's Day was, so it's technically Mother's Day.
Post-ritual.
So no Rummy Cube was involved. I always get up in the morning, and whether it's our anniversary, Amy's birthday, or Mother's Day, I get up and I go straight to Publix, and I grab some flowers and the card and everything. And so so when Amy wakes up, she has, the flowers ready and all that kind of stuff. She's been really sick of me. No, I'm sorry. She's been sick. And so she's been basically bedridden for like days.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's kind of sad. So not a fun Mother's Day, but she's feeling better.
That's good.
Got her some of that, I think is it Robitussin?
Yeah.
She finally
Good
got her
stuff.
some good stuff.
So you were sipping on the scissor all weekend?
Well,
some of that
if there's-
codeine, that lean.
If there's any left over, we're going to make meth.
Perfect.
I actually told her.
You pour it into Sprite, man.
Yeah. Did you have
actually,
the styrofoam cups?
Sure.
You got a zip in a double cup?
I told her, look, I can do this. I've watched Breaking Bad twice.
Let's go.
So there you go.
Did they check your ID for the
They did.
tussin?
They did. They checked. I had to get it from behind the counter.
It's insane.
That's how potent this stuff is.
It's the good stuff.
All right, real quick. Do we have time? How are we doing on time? Real quick, go. What is this? The video you sent me a video.
Oh, so you were talking about Justin Jones and Justin Pearson. Excuse me.
Justin Squared.
The Justin Squared. They mix together. But I had so many people sending me the scene from Coming to America where the preacher is on stage and going, "Is this Justin Pearson?"
Yep.
Don't be ashamed to call his name. Yes, Lord. Only God can give that woman the kind of joy she has right there.
All right, it's exactly
It's
what
the
Justin
same
Pearson
thing.
was doing.
It is the same thing.
And Arsenio Hall is like, what is going on?
Yep.
Can I get an amen?
Ah, there you go. Very good. Whatever. Again, I'm not
So,
judging how people
listen,
praise, just so we're clear.
I just think it's a little crazy that even Eddie Murphy is one of those coded racists.
That's exactly right. The coded racism of Eddie Murphy. Moving right along. All right, it is 8:55. Joan, what's coming up?
Yeah, coming up here, he has pleaded not guilty, the man accused in the latest assassination attempt on President Trump. We've got details about his court appearance this morning coming up at 9 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Dan Mandis here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This is my HVAC company. They should be yours as well. Every month, they've got a laundry list of ways to save you money. So, are you ready for May? Here's what they've got. Right now, you can take advantage of special financing on new HVAC systems with up to 12 months, no payment, and no interest. That is huge. No prepayment penalty either. And approvals, well, they're going to vary by credit. Now, here's the sweet deal. You get a free Yeti Tundra 45 cooler when you install a 17 SEER or higher high-efficiency HVAC unit. If you want healthier air, the Healthy Hive Exclusive gives you an electronic air cleaner and whole home UV system. Now, regularly, that's going to be $27.99. Right now, though, with Busy Bee, Just $22.99 installed. You're saving about $500. Plus, Busy Bee is going to handle those TVA rebates for you as well. You can get $800 back on mini split systems, $500 to $800 back on heat pump systems, and even a $50 rebate on AC tune-ups. As I said, all kinds of ways to save with Busy Bee. Call them, tell them Dan told you to reach out at 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, BusyBeeHVAC.com.